Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon, guys. Wow, it's been a big year. 2021 is just about to end, and guess what? We're going to be going over some of the best UFOs that was submitted over this past year. It's been incredible. The public has delivered some of the best evidence that we've seen on the planet to date, and we're so proud to share this 4-hour episode with you right now. Everybody start to buckle up because this one's going to get pretty heavy on the information and the UFO sightings that you're about to witness. A happy new year to everybody and enjoy this video.
Check this video out. One of the most mind-boggling videos in regards to contrails, whatever you call it. A spectacular orb is in front of it. What the heck is it? Is this just some kind of, commercial airliner spewing out junk, or is it something else? I got a feeling there's something going on in the skies in regards to these sightings. I want to get to dark hour. Michael, what's your thoughts on this?
This video is quite visually spectacular, looking at the contrails coming off of this object that's bright against the background of the sky. At first glance, I noticed that the two predominant lights we're seeing are red and green, and I do know that FAA lights are just those two colors. In fact, the red is usually on the left side. It's on the left wing, and the green is on the right side. Occasionally, they will flash together to make the plane a bit more visible, but as we continue to watch this video, and even towards the end here where we're really zoomed up, we see that there are multiple lights flashing, for which I can't identify a source on this craft itself. It almost looks to be glistening or sparkling the way that Christmas lights light up in tinsel. It's really fantastic, and again, the contrails that are coming off of this, could that possibly be something chemical, or could it be something environmental? We're looking at the heat radiating off. This clip is an example of the outrageous anomalies that we are seeing in our skies these days, and although there's plenty there in the way of visualization, we're still not entirely sure what we're seeing.
I want to get to Dr. J. Dr. J, what's your thoughts on this video?
Okay, this video is definitely harder to explain, of course, unless the people who are piloting it were able to tell us. Now, could this be an experimental military vehicle? Well, yes, but let me argue why I don't think so. If you are, say, a general, and you are testing this new technology of a new airplane that costs tens of millions, possibly over $1 billion, if not more, after the research and development, are you going to really test this over civilians, over residential areas? Or would you rather test it in a desolate area such as Area 51, Groom Lake, or say in the middle of the ocean? Here you have something that arguably looks like one craft with different sizes of lights. However, other people could argue, well, what if it's multiple craft that are all sort of grouped into one? It's hard to say, honestly. I don't know which of the two people are going to argue for, but I tend to see it as one giant craft with different size lights that are glowing. And in some screenshots that you guys have been able to take in large, I see a little bit of structure, but not much, obviously because they are blinded by the lights. I also note the witness reaction to it. The witnesses, plural. I definitely love that. And so with the case that I made that it is not likely something that would be tested by the military or any human near a residential area. And if they were to test it in a residential area, they would test it if it was cloaked and silence and all this other stuff. Yes, there's silence here with the craft, but it's not cloaked. As a matter of fact, if they're trying to hide it from the public, they're doing anything but that by having such a thing be so openly visible to people.
When I first saw this video, I was kind of blown away. At first, I thought it was an aircraft kind of on flames. Maybe something happened, a catastrophic event that was making this plane fall out of the sky, because it looks like it's on fire. We're taking a close look at it, and you can see it's under control, and that's the weird part. Could this be some secret technology, some cloaking that kind of hides the planes, or something else? Could it be a military experiment? These are all the questions we need to ask right here.
Doc Skinner from 1028 Productions, what's your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, so I checked out this video you guys sent me. It makes me first off think that it possibly could be a meteorite or a comet, depending on the type of mineral it could be, would be the reasons for the colors. And that's how I would probably explain this one, as it being a meteorite coming in and it being certain minerals, and that would give you a green color or a red color. But the fact that it's strobing the whole gamut of colors throws that theory kind of out the window. And as I'm watching it, here, let me pull this back and look real quick and pause as it zooms in. You notice that there are other, we could say fragments that are traveling beside this large, pulsing, very bright, kind of like when sulfur catches fire, and it's like this, like a welder's spark bright. It's that kind of bright. That's what it looks like. And but it would break apart by then, you would think. And then you have the other dots, or little what do you call it, escorts that are following beside it. It's a compelling video. I don't know for sure. I do think I'm going to lean more towards it's possibly a meteorite coming into the atmosphere, but then I'm doubting at the same time that it could be something else because of the way those colors are flashing quickly, and multiple colors. It couldn't be just one substance. So could this be a unidentified, I don't know what, but who knows? It's 2021. Things are crazy.
Now let's get to our next video coming out of Florida. Check this out.
I've never seen a cloud that just sits there.
I had a dream, a UFO.
Pay attention to all the other clouds.
It is. If
like
a UFO come and
Everything else is already gone. Everything's already sunset. And the moon's on the other side of the world.
Get off of me.
That shit's just sitting there.
All us gonna get caught, really? Even
Both of us gonna get caught because
All
I'm holding
us.
on to you.
You know why? Because when UFO
Yo, that's some scary shit though, for real though.
UFO come, like, it's so much power, you can't move in it. It's like
It's a gravity pull. It's so much electricity.
It's like a mat.
It looks like a dog is sitting.
A dog?
No,
you see
like a pit bull,
it
like
looks
blue.
like a dog.
Like blue.
Look at the ears. You see the ears pointy?
That boy look like blue.
Right, let's get to Richard from Goof On. I want to get his opinions on this.
Okay, this next one is very strange. It is a cloud of some sort. Maybe it's a craft that created its own environment around it. Maybe the propulsion system of this craft created a cloud around it. Because if you hear what the witness says, is that it's not moving. It looks like a cloud, but it isn't acting like a cloud, which is very strange. It almost looks like it has its own light coming out from it. Is it the altitude, and is it near sunset? Is that why we're seeing this cloud look like this? If it is a cloud, I don't know, but I think I have seen something similar to this, and there was no explanation to it. A long time ago, I saw something very similar, a cloud, and this cloud would sit in one spot, and it was almost changing shapes. And this reminds me of that. It's almost as if something is cloaking itself and is just sitting there acting like a cloud. We hear that a lot from witnesses. They say, oh, it looks like this is hiding behind a cloud, yet it hasn't moved. And that's what exactly we have here. Look, if this is something that is from another world, otherworldly, and it's sitting there watching us and it can create these clouds to hide behind, I can't imagine how many of them might be up there right now looking back at us. Good stuff.
But what we're seeing right here is a phenomenon. What is this? It's creating this glow in the night sky. Could it be a reflection of the sun hitting it up in the high atmosphere, creating this glow? Could it be an aftermath of a rocket? So the question is, what is this? It's a sky phenomenon, and I'm going to say it's something otherworldly.
Now, let's get to the next video of an incredible display of lights at dusk. Look at these photographs. All right, guys, I want to get your thoughts. Go ahead.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, this first one is real interesting. Meteor breaking up in the sky. It's a photograph, not a video. Usually we have video of these things. It's rare to get a photograph of a, something breaking up in the sky. Could it be space debris? It almost looks like, in one of the photos, it looks like it's a craft just sitting there, but obviously this is moving through the sky and breaking up and, giving off a glow, which kind of looks like lights. It's very interesting. I think this is it might be the first time I've ever seen anybody photograph a fireball going through the sky instead of video. So it does have a different feel to it. You get a different vibe from looking at a photograph or still of a fireball breaking up in the sky, if that's what it is. Could it be space debris? Could it be a UFO crashing in through the atmosphere and breaking up? Did they find anything? Were there pieces on the ground? Did anybody ever talk about that, I wonder? Yeah, interesting photograph.
More amazing footage, and although it is not video, I'm glad that it is documented at all. And it's better that we have 9 photographs than 1. No one's going to dispute that. Now, because it is not pitch black at night, and it is essentially twilight, between each light, you do not see any structured craft. So unlike the Phoenix lights, which was pitch black at night, and the witnesses who were below the craft said that when it was floating overhead, it was blocking out the stars. We could see right through between each of these balls. That gives me the impression that we're looking at multiple craft. And the one to the furthest left, glowing a blue, is very unique. Is that the one in charge? I don't know, but they all seem to be the same size as opposed to the other side, which are all white lights. Now, let me throw in one major thing too. 30 plus years ago, when Bob Lazar first broke his silence about S4, he told us something remarkable, which definitely applies now. He said, when you take something that produces such high voltage and you place it in a gaseous atmosphere, particularly in ours, we're talking about oxygen and hydrogen, among other things, what's going to happen is it's going to create a glowing halo around the structure. Now, if these are circles or orbs that we are seeing of structured craft, then that's why they are glowing the way they are, particularly the 3 right ones, aka white ones. The one on the left, the blue one, is definitely anomalous. Now, one more thing I'm going to also throw into the mix. If everyone remembers the famous New Zealand film from, I believe, the late 70s, no later than the early 80s, where a television crew was on board a flight and they captured in one single frame a red orb essentially doing such a radical maneuver that it looks like an infinity sign and an and sign at the same time. That's what I gather from one of the photos when they seem to be dropping down and to the right a bit. Other than that, I have to say fantastic footage, and I look forward to see what everyone else says.
Yeah, we received these photographs, there I think 4 of them, and I can tell you, whatever we're looking at, it's not CGI. We're seeing 4 different orbs kind of creating a trail, which is quite unique. Some people might say it's Starlink, but then again, you don't see Starlink in the daytime. What we're seeing is something that's captured in the daytime right at dusk. So again, what is this?
UFOs possibly harnessing the energy from the sun. Videos have been making the rounds lately, and we received one from George Rabb just moments ago in regards to this phenomenon. We're showing you the video right now, and it's mind-boggling to understand the comprehension behind this. What's going on? We're getting some close-up shots of the anomalies. What is going on here? It's very bizarre because when we do a close-up shot, I'm slowing it down just a bit, you can see this plasmic UFO enter the sun and rip out on the other side. It's very bizarre because this doesn't look like any kind of conventional aircraft, nothing in our assets. Is this something interstellar, something close to the sun, something massive in size, possibly the size of planet Earth itself? This object is mega in whatever its structure is. It's hard to say what is the meta propulsion behind this technology. We've got the entire panel that's going to be joining us tonight. They're going to be chiming in with their thoughts in regards to this incredible video from George Rabb, including George, who captured this. He's going to give us a statement. Buckle up, everybody. This is Third Phase of Moon. So let's get it on and start it off with Goofon. What's your thoughts here, Goofon?
Hey, thanks guys. Yeah, I appreciate this. This video's pretty interesting. So what I'm looking at now is, in the first part, an object that looks like a meteor heading into the sun, and then another object coming out. So one goes in at the top, like around the 11 o'clock position on the left, and then one comes out the bottom. Another one is leaving the sun. And this gentleman here who captured this says he has 3 videos here in 6 hours or something like that. He's never seen it before. And he watches the sun every day. So what we have here are objects entering the sun and objects leaving the sun, which I find very unnatural. I don't understand if we're actually seeing what we're seeing, or it is just an illusion of the sun itself. So when the objects are going into it, is it what we're seeing, or is it just because the sun is so bright that it's creating this effect that it looks like meteors leaving the sun and entering the sun? I know it sounds weird, but maybe it's just airplanes and it looks like they're coming out of the sun. But I can't explain the trails going in and the trails following the objects leaving the sun. To me, it's unnatural. I've seen this video now several times, and all I know is you can get a lot of strange anomalies with certain cameras in certain situations, like focusing in on the sun or focusing in on something very bright. I wonder if this gentleman took video of a light bulb and maybe moved something towards it and see if it leaves the same effect of streaks following in or out of passing in front of a light bulb. I don't know, just something to think of, because if this is real and objects are going in and out of the sun like this, I want to know why, and we're being lied to. NASA knows about it, I guarantee it. And if this guy knows about it, who else knows about it? That's what we need to look into. Who else has the same information? That'll verify it. That'll give me a little peace of mind to know that the sun isn't being, I don't know, extracted of It's energy that we need here on Earth. It's pretty wild stuff.
Interesting stuff. Absolutely great insight. Rich from Goof On. Appreciate that. Now let's take it out to Doc Skinner from 1028 Productions. What do you think of these anomalies, Doc?
So I'm looking at this video you guys sent me, which was filmed overlooking Mount Mitchell in North Carolina in the Appalachian Mountains. And it's pretty peculiar stuff. The first thing we see is an object flying into the sun. And my first thought would be, okay, it's a comet or something crashing into the sun. But as we move on forward, we see that these objects are actually leaving the sun and leaving a wake behind them of, I guess, sun stuff. And it is pulling it out as it ejects from the sun. Now, there's been many theories on something like this where these craft are capable of entering the sun and gaining the energy from the sun to refuel their tanks or their batteries or whatever it is that flies their ships. And others have speculated that these objects are actually traveling in and out of the sun because the sun, and this has been speculated, that the sun is actually a stargate. And people speculate that the fact that Egyptians and other cultures worship the sun, saying that it is a god, what if the sun is an actual stargate? Of course, we've never gone into it ourselves, but this is quite amazing footage. Like I said, the first image crashing in, you think, okay, it's a comet. But when they're ejecting from the sun, that is where it gets compelling. So, is this a portal, or is this, spacecraft using the sun to refuel their energy, or is this a stargate? It's interesting. I personally do not wish to find out myself, get too close to the sun. But this is an awesome video.
Absolutely, Doc. Great insight. I want you guys to notice this. There's one part of the video where it seems that there's a beam of light extending from the sun for thousands of miles. What the heck is this? Is this some kind of ray coming from the sun? Some beam of light? It's very strange. I'm looking at it closer. I don't know what this is. What could have caused this? Very strange. Now let's take it out to Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal. What's your thoughts?
When I initially started watching this video, I thought, maybe that's some space debris or a satellite that is somehow falling into the sun, or perhaps it's going in front of the sun and we just can't see it. But as you get further into this video, that hypothesis does not stand up. I really appreciate the effort that this gentleman went through to isolate the object that he had captured on film for us to get a better look at. Now, I said object, but it really should be plural, because he sees 6 of these objects enter into the sun and come back out. It does remind me of some video footage that we've reviewed recently on Third Phase and Thirdphaseofmoon had presented respectively, wherein we did see objects going into the sun, but in this case they're coming right back out. Now, another interesting aspect that I see in this video is when the object gets close enough to the sun, there's all of a sudden some sort of trailing or streaking as it gets closer and then finally disappears into the body. Now, interestingly enough, we also observe the same phenomenon when the object exits the sun. So, in reviewing this video, I can't really determine exactly what it is that we're looking at here. I'm not aware of any materials that we're using that can withstand the temperatures found in the sun, and to say that it moves in and out freely and intact, I still can't think of anything that we have created that would produce that sort of effect. This video is absolutely fascinating, a fantastic submission. It's almost as if there's a party or a galactic meeting occurring at the center of the sun and we're not invited. What exactly is going on in there?
All right, I'm happy to say Dr. J from Dr. J Radio Live has just joined us. He's watched the video. I sent it to him just moments ago. Dr. J, what's your thoughts on these anomalous objects?
Another viewer of third phase of moon keeping his eyes in the sky along with his camera in the sky zoomed up to the sun. Now what do we have here? We have objects, 6 different objects or 3 different objects captured in 6 videos that are coming and going towards the sun. First of all, what are they? Skeptics and debunkers alike are going to say this is natural phenomena such as solar flares and solar storms. However, I have never seen anything like that. Nothing, no solar flare has ever looked so uniform and has traveled in such a way that could be looked at as a UFO or flying saucer. The next big question is, what is the purpose that they're going there for? Are they actually going into the sun, or are they just going near the sun and getting their energy recharged, their power source recharged, or are they looking for something else more? In the past, there have been videos that have shown that what alleged craft that have been near the sun that have actually had plasma that has been from the sun to the craft. So it's alleged for decades that that's what they're doing. That's what I'm wondering here, except we don't see this craft, if that's what they are, stop near the sun, but we see the craft actually disappear behind the sun.
Now, I got Brent here, and I want to get Brent's thoughts. What's your thoughts on these anomalies, Brent? This guy's got a hell of a lens. You can see his telephoto has a really good close-up of the sun and ripping in from one side of the sun and then making an exit right out the other. And like Blake said earlier, the plasmic trail that is left behind, it gives this nice little subtlety of what is this? It's something that's seems otherworldly. I like the way George really had an eye. It seemed like there was a bunch of these anomalies happening within a little time frame, and great job, George, by capturing this with his great equipment. Now, let's get to this. George Rabb recorded this for me just moments ago. He explains when he captured this and where. Listen up.
Hey guys, I just wanted to send this video to you. I took this back in October of 2020. I was hiking in the mountains, in the Pisgah Mountains in western North Carolina. And like I always do, I like to film the sun rising over the mountains. And it wasn't until this summer I happened to be looking at this video and I saw something that was really unusual. So I sent it to you guys. I figured you guys could use it. And I would just like to get your opinion on it, see what you think about it. Anyway, thanks guys. I love your show.
It's incredible when we get submissions from the public, but what's outstanding is when people put their faces in front of the camera and give us their side of the story.
Recently, I received a video along with other evidence that we're going to be going over tonight, but let's start it off with this incredible sighting from Colorado. The Mile High guy has submitted this video to us. He's asking questions. What the heck is going on over Aurora, Colorado? Take a look at this. So we're looking at this video and it's insane to see what's going on over the skies. We have multiple videos that we're going to be going over tonight in regards to this phenomenon, but right now we're looking at this. Could this be some kind of space junk falling out of the sky? Or multiple meteorites at the same consistency? I highly doubt it. There's something going on. In my opinion, there's intelligence behind this, but I'm not gonna rule out chemtrails or contrails. This possibly could be it, but right now we don't see any kind of indicator what's in front of these trails. It remains a mystery right now. It's incredible footage, broad daylight. We're getting a close-up look at this, and we can see and hear that the people on the ground are concerned about what they're seeing. This is unlike any kind of normal activity over the area. What is it?
Yeah, it's quite amazing. We've had 3 submissions this morning, and wow, the Mile High guy, he really produced a really great shot. You could see that it's a really clear blue sky, and we got 3 objects falling, and they seem to be in unison, like Blake said earlier. Could these be some sort of test that we're seeing, something that the government is doing, some sort of operation? It seems like it's military. What are we looking at? The formation kind of reminds me of like the Blue Angels. You see them flying together in unison, but this is something different. Some people might even say this is some sort of space trash falling from the sky, and maybe possibly a spent satellite that actually fell from the sky and broke up in the atmosphere.
The Mile High guy was explaining to me that he stepped outside and noticed these 3 objects in sync falling out of the sky. He's not exactly sure if they're military airplanes or some kind of secret exercise up there, but could it be maybe the Space Force assets? That's what I'm thinking. We're looking at this and there's still no explanation to what caused this.
Incredible sighting over the Channel Islands, a low flying object that doesn't make sense. What the heck is it doing out over the Channel Islands in these heavy winds? Linda Ong managed to capture this in broad daylight, and she's asking what it possibly could be, and we're looking at it right now, and I want to get your guys' opinion in this live premiere chat. And if you're joining us, give us a big thumbs up if you appreciate the breaking UFO news coming right here at Third Phase of Moon. What's going on here? Is this some kind of blimp? I don't think so. These winds are way too heavy. We've asked some aviation experts in regards to blimps, and they usually don't do it over bodies of water, and especially in high winds like this. That's coming in from aviation experts. So right now, we're kind of wondering what the possibility of this object is. Could it be a possible UFO that's heading to some kind of underwater base? People have seen a lot of UFOs over the Channel Islands, and I got a feeling it may be because there's something going on beneath the waters. It resembles a huge dark tic-tac. Yeah, Blake, check this out. This thing's massive, and you can see the winds are kind of steep. They're probably, I'd say, about 40, 35 miles an hour. Pretty harsh conditions out. And this object seems rather steady. It's moving kind of in the direction towards the wind. So there's some sort of propulsion behind this thing. It's not just static floating there. It seems to be moving in some sort of direction. It has meaning. And now, what is a big question? What is this, and how big is it, and what's making it fly? Again, we took a couple stills off this thing, and at some point, it almost resembles a classic flying saucer. This kind of reminds me of what happened in Malibu. One of our friends were out there. They reached out to us. They sent us kind of the same exact video. It looked very similar, and it's off the coast where a blimp shouldn't really be hanging out, especially under these conditions. That's right, Brent. It is amazing to see this huge craft. I would have to estimate it to be at least 150 to possibly 300 feet in length. And we're not seeing any kind of canopy underneath it. And it's going in the opposite direction of the incoming winds, these heavy winds. So whatever it is, I don't think it should be there. And if anybody has any idea if they saw this similar object over the Channel Islands, we'd like to hear from you. And if you got some video of it, please send it to us. Some people might speculate that this could be some kind of banner or advertisement banner. And right now I'm gonna have to disagree with them on that. We're not seeing any kind of airplane that's pulling a banner behind it. Absolutely not. This is definitely a massive sighting in broad daylight. This is the kind of videos we want to see right here at Third Phase of Moon. Now let's get to our next submission coming in. Check it out.
in the hell is that? Whoa, what in the fuck? Okay, I'm confused. That is not a goddamn airplane. That's an airplane. Stop, Dozer, stop it. Look, where did it go? It's right there. That thing doesn't have any goddamn wings. Dozer, you're crazy. That airplane has wings. Dozer, come here. Damn it. Stupid dog. Come here, Dozer.
This incredible video is captured by Amber White. We received notification from Amber from her mother, who says it was shot in her backyard and it was over the skies of Wichita. It definitely resembles a Tic-tac. In my opinion, this is incredible. Again, broad daylight footage. And what I like about it too is it's shot in HD, and she manages to capture a bunch of angles of this. And it's insane how she ran after this object to get a better shot, and we could look at this thing. It almost seems like it's burning up at one point in the video. We're gonna look at it again, slow things down, because in this part of the video it's incredible what we're looking at. In my opinion, this isn't any kind of airplane. Some people speculate that airplanes, sometimes you see it at a certain angle on the video, you don't see the wing or the tail. In my opinion, what we're looking at right now is definitely not an airplane. It resembles the classic Tic-tac that our Navy pilots are seeing. Colorado mountains. Brandon Smith has reached out to Thirdphaseofmoon to exclusively share his incredible UFO encounter that happened in broad daylight. Earlier today, I asked Brandon Smith to return to the area where he captured this anomaly, this UFO, the day before, to see if it was still there and give us a report of what he experienced, what caught his eye. Before we get to the incredible video that Brandon has submitted to Thirdphaseofmoon, and you're going to see it for the first time, let's listen to Brandon Smith's testimony before we get to it. Listen up.
Hello, this is Brandon Smith. I'm in Colorado Springs, USA. I seen an unidentified craft. It looked like UFO, and it looked like no drone. I ain't never seen a drone like this. Okay? If it was a drone, I would have never got my phone. I'd never recorded it. I live by the base, Fort Collins, and NORAD. And I'll show you in a minute what I seen, and you'll be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna flip it around. You'll see Pikes Peak in the far distance, and this is exactly where I seen this craft. Okay, you see that whole mountain range. And when I seen it that morning, it was like right above where that car is driving. You see where that car is driving? I hope I'm not recording it messed up, like vertically, you know. But yeah, you could see it in the video I recorded. You'll see, I think that, sorry guys, it's all messed up, but you see where that truck is, I believe, or where them campsites are. It was like right around there, you know. And I seen it come from, way up there in the sky. It went zoom, 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 and it stayed right there. And I said, holy shit, I gotta go get my camera. And I went right in the house and I grabbed my camera and I came out, and what you guys seen is where it was. And I steadily recorded it, and it was like 6:37 in the morning. It's time stamped on my phone. And it was like, you know, 20-some degrees, so I had to get pants and clothes because I live out here in basically nowhere, and you can come out like that. But that's how I caught the footage, and that's my story, man. I'm sticking to it, and if I get anything else, I'll show it and share it. With Third Phase and Goof On, you guys are the best. The best. Okay? Keep up the good work. Love the content. Watch it every day. I keep my eyes to the skies. Good content, Jens. Keep it up.
It's incredible when an eyewitness comes forward and puts their face in front of the camera to back up what they recorded, what they experienced, and to share it to the world the way he is via Thirdphaseofmoon. I give high props to Brandon Smith for coming forward. Now let's get to the video. I want you guys to take a close look at this. Remember, he said that this UFO, whatever it was traveling at a quick, high rate of speed. He managed to capture this for about 50 seconds. Watch this now.
All right, you see that thing floating? What the hell is that? What is that? What is that? What is it? I'm maxed in all the way. I seen that thing zipping around. What the hell is it? Wow, is that a UFO?
We're looking at this video again that Brandon has allowed us to share to the world via Thirdphaseofmoon. I'm getting a close-up look at it. I'm adding some brightness and contrast. It's very interesting to see this in broad daylight. Could it be some kind of anomaly that's coming from the mountain itself, from the surface of the mountain? But if you recall the eyewitness's testimony, what Brandon states is that this thing was flying around at a high rate of speed. So if this is the case, then it is definitely something that needs to be further investigated. These lights in the sky seem to be hovering. What is it? Is it something interdimensional? Is it some kind of natural phenomenon? Some people might even bring up the Marfa lights. It's just absolutely great that there are people out there like Brandon who has an eye, has his camera ready when things go down. And he says it wasn't a drone. He knows what drones look like. So what possibly could it be? All right, Brent, I want to get your thoughts here.
Yeah, big shout out to Brandon. He absolutely killed it with this video. He's crushing it. The video, it's broad daylight. And again, what are these pulsating lights off in the distance? I was kind of questioning myself too. Is this something that's connected to the mountain itself? And I'm leaning towards that just because Brandon, being just an eyewitness, a typical guy out there, just was stunned by what he saw, and he explains these lights zipped in. So I'm going to take Brandon's word for this 100%. What we're looking at is something so strange. What are these lights? We've seen them around the planet, and now they're kind of just giving itself. They're not hiding anymore. We're getting all these videos on a consistent basis. Things are just heating up right here at Thirdphaseofmoon, and with people like Brandon out there capturing these kind of anomalies, I think we're getting down to the bottom of the truth. What are we seeing here is a big question.
Absolutely. Some people might speculate, Brent, that these could be just maybe hikers up in the mountain, kind of doing some kind of reflection with mirrors, or some hikers' backpacks that might be glinting off the sun. Again, I'm not sure. It possibly could be. From what Brandon's telling us is that this is kind of a remote region. I don't see any hiking trails in the area. If anybody knows this area, could you let us know and see if you could tell us if there is any hiking trails? Because at the moment, we don't see any access to that area. It's pretty rugged. So in my opinion, these lights are not connected to the mountainside. It's actually hovering there. Again, a mystery. And it's something that we want to share with you. And I want to get your thoughts in the chat. We're doing this live premiere. We even have more evidence for you coming up. So give us a big thumbs up right now before we get to this next incredible video. We asked Rich from GoofOn to go over some of the archives right here at Third Phase of Moon and get GoofOn's kind of point of view on things. Rich, what do you got? What'd you find in the Third Phase of Moon archives?
Hello everyone, this is Rich Giordano reporting for Third Phase UFO Report. We are rolling into the office and we've got a couple of things to show you. I've got a great report from skiers who captured an anomaly unlike anything you've ever seen before. This will actually blow your mind. And then we've got the ISS. We got a weird object or objects following it. Very strange. And then lastly, we're going to end with an amazing Tic-tac. You won't believe your eyes. Here's the reports.
Third Phase Moon, Blake Cousins. Welcome back, everybody from around the world. Recently, Mr. shared his video that he captured April 27, 2019 over the Swedish mountains of some kind of weird weather phenomenon. We're going to get into incredible detail. It was captured with his Mavic 2 Pro while they're skiing on the Swedish mountains, and it's incredible aerial that we're looking at. But what's incredible is what Mr. does with his video after he reviews it. Let's just take a look at this for a little bit. What I like about people, when they go over their footage, they see things that they didn't notice before, and this is one of those cases. It's an incredible Mavic 2 Pro shot, but when you go over your footage and notice something like this in the distance, it could change the way you perceive things sometimes. Watch this. There it is. Brent, I want to get your opinion on what do you think's going on in this video. Is this some kind of possible sun flare, a refraction of light that's creating some kind of illusion?
Yeah, Blake, that's a big question here. And basically, Mr.'s captured everything that we need to find out and basically break this down. So we're going to be going over the details with a fine-tooth comb and see what's really going on here.
What I like about Mr. in this video that he put out, and he's allowing permission granted to Third Phase of Moon, is that he did a lot of his own enhancements.
Here it comes. Yeah, absolutely. This is,
there's
see
a
that
little
blend.
glitch.
There's a blend of this, whatever it is, mixture in between the frame rate and the clouds itself. It seems to be producing itself.
So apparently something is
coming out of the clouds. According to this video, you see a little glitch, but then again, look at this. Is this some kind of craft? He says in the statement it could be just a reflection from the mountain to the clouds, but it's interesting indeed. Look how fast this thing just shoots out of the clouds and dissipates.
This is really strange. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like this. The only thing I can compare this to are like geysers and, things that emit little bit of heat or gas or pressure. And here we have at the top of these mountains, way up in the mountains, very high, this guy who's been there before. What's amazing is his drone captured it. He didn't even know until he looked later. I do not think this is a reflection off the mountain, although there's some weirdness going on here. I don't know. Maybe it's a weather anomaly. Maybe it's a glitch in the Matrix. It looks glitchy. Very strange. I really don't know. And there, you can see it following up with the arrow. I mean, this is really bizarre. If anybody in the chat knows what this is, please put your thoughts down there. It does have some sort of weirdness. I wonder if it's just a heat refraction. You know, like when they see cities in the sky?
Right, this was captured in Florida. It's one of the Third Phase of Moon archive videos that is still as yet to be explained. What the heck is this? A Coast Guard plane in a close encounter with a black and white Tic-tac. You could see it go above the wing of the Coast Guard plane. Exactly what it is, I'm not sure. Is this something that resembles the Secret Space Force, what they're developing right now to buzz close by to planes and our Air Force, Navy?
Yeah, you can see as this peel-like flying object approached the Coast Guard airplane, it zoomed by quite a bit faster. It kind of picked up its approach and then it gained speed. It is pretty cool. Here it comes, tagging it right over the wing right there.
And that's you can see 4 engines, propellers on this craft above it. So it's a pretty large Coast Guard plane. I'm not exactly sure, with 4 engines on it. Whatever the craft is above it that zooms by quickly above it is definitely quite large in itself. I would say at least 20 feet.
Yeah, I love the open shot. He zooms in. Again, everything's shaking. Could this be a CGI? I'm looking at it. It seemed to have faded right behind that leaf. Everything matches up as legitimate. But then again, people are really good at this stuff. It could be CGI work, but I'm looking at it. Everything seems to be working in the same way in the matter of legit film, Blake.
Absolutely. It's incredible to look at this, and in broad daylight too. Are they getting more bold to show themselves and their maneuverability right in front of the Coast Guard themselves? Like, hey, look at me, I'm zoom right past you. I don't have any wings, I don't have any source of propulsion. What the heck is this? And then again, we're looking at this video very closely, and again, this object disappears behind the leaf in the same fashion as the airplane. I don't see any manipulation.
Can you say Tic-tac? Man alive, this is amazing. This is one of the better Tic-tac UFO sightings I've ever seen.
Incredible broad daylight sighting. Check this out.
Ve cómo se ve. ¿Qué es eso?
All right, we're looking at this video again. We're gonna get a closer look. I'm adding some brightness, contrast, a little of hue, just to make the color pop. We're looking at this craft, and it is absolutely stunning to witness this in broad daylight. We could hear from the Eyewitness over there in South America, Mexico. They had no idea what was going on. They're really lucky to capture this once in a lifetime moment. This craft, in my opinion, is very bright. Look at these lights. For to have this kind of illumination in broad daylight, whatever these lights are, they're powerful in their display. It's incredible the size and manner of this craft, if that's what it is. Some people might speculate that these are just simply flares, but as we're looking at the video a little closer, we don't see any kind of descent from these lights. They remain perfectly stationary over the city. The person has some time trying to get his bearings and get a good shot of this thing, but as we're looking at this video again, it's incredible to imagine what kind of things are going on over Mexico. An incredible display. Brent, I want to get your thoughts here.
Yeah, Blake, I'm going to definitely rule out drones or flares. This thing remains static. It's just floating above the city over there. And I'm looking at the size. You can see that it's off in some distance there, and it's almost in relevance to the cityscape itself. So this thing's massive. I'm almost going to say it's almost size as one of those large structures on the ground over there. So it's almost about 5 stories tall. This thing's some sort of massive craft that's just floating in the sky, and I don't think they're just orbs. I believe this thing is a one-piece craft. It's connected. The whole thing is just a solid object. We're going to get a close-up of this thing right now and see what it does and make it pop.
Absolutely. Did you see this? It almost looks like one craft there, Brent. That's incredible. This is pretty interesting stuff. No doubt, like you say, Brent, the size of the buildings down there, if you think about it, in my opinion, the width of this thing is at least 50 feet. And from the top to bottom, I'd say about another 20 feet. So 5 stories wide and about 2 stories tall. And look at this. It's approximately about 7 luminescent orbs up on top and this one lonely orb on the bottom. Again, is this one craft? When we looked at that photograph, that's pretty amazing that you almost see some kind of structure behind it. Some people might even say this is some blimp, but I've never seen a blimp like this. If you could compare any kind of blimp that looks like this, please share it with us, because I'm gonna have to rule that out as well. Again, you see the mountain in the way background over there behind the city, so I don't think this is any kind of tower or a pole. It's incredible to behold, and I love these broad daylight sightings. Do you guys dig these kind of videos, the broad daylights, like I do? I sure love this kind of evidence that's come in, and it seems like Mexico is just lighting up with incredible activity. Look at this. Let me bring up this still photograph again. It's pretty incredible just to look at this. I'm adding again little brightness, contrast, pulling it in. For a second there, it looked almost like the Superman symbol. Oh, that's so strange. Incredible stuff. Now, speaking of Mexico, Jaime Maussan over there wanted us to share this video. Watch. Boom. An incredible display and an opening. Electromagnetic pulse that just happened over the atmosphere over Canada. Let's watch this again. Boom. And the shockwave. This is very amazing. I've never quite seen anything like this, and I'm so glad that Jaime gave us the heads up. Well, let's watch this one more time here. Here it comes into... All right, this is very strange. Is this, I don't know, some kind of an explosion, some kind of blast up there? Was there an accident? Is this some experiment that worked perfectly or not perfectly? I'm not exactly sure. Look at the way this thing just rips through the sky with this electromagnetic shockwave. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is incredible footage at 30,000 feet over Canada. It's just, I've never seen anything like this. Like you said, Blake, it kind of reminds me of, just to say, Boba Fett when he releases that kind of missile and then he drops it and it creates this huge explosion and you just hear this sound, and it kind of reminds me of that. If you guys know what I'm talking about, this is just like an incredible plasmic display. Could it be some sort of secret space test that we weren't aware of and they never gave us a heads up, and somebody in the plane just managed to film this event that just happened and took place? This is so stunning.
Absolutely, Brent. I could watch this all day long. It's an incredible capture. It's hard to believe, too, because at about 30,000 feet, the passengers witnessing this outside, and it's hard to tell on how high this anomaly, this atmospheric disturbance is. It could be at the stratosphere level, so it's a huge display. It covers hundreds of miles if that's the case. Again, this is something incredible. I think we're going to have to do a follow-up on this, maybe do a little bit more research, find out exactly what this possibly could be, but it is a huge event. I think we're going to get Alex Gershowitz and have him look into this, see if we could find out, and we'll be updating I guess tomorrow on Third Phase Moon, see if we can figure out what this anomaly is, because it is, again, an incredible sight to behold here.
This is it, guys. Wake up, everybody. This is the breaking news every day right here at Third Phase Moon. Gotta give a big thumbs up to Jaime Musan for sharing this with us. This phenomenon that's happening right now, this event, is kind of something that needs to be told to the masses. If nobody shares this and gets this up on the main news, the major media, and have represented that Third Phase of Moon and Jaime Musan broke this news, what's going to happen? Because I think this is going to break out, and I bet they don't give credit to where it's due.
Yep, the idea of information and how it gets out to the major media, and if credit's given to the person or the source of the breaking news. Yes, this is an issue going on right now, and we're so happy that everybody's joining us because they know where the source is. The source is right here at Third Phase Moon, getting down to these incredible videos and sharing it to you as fast as possible. We even have more videos coming up in just moments, but we just want to let everybody know you're at the right place, and we enjoy everybody who's here chiming in and giving us information that they might have privy insight to. So this is a collaboration with the planet, you, the people that are helping us, trying to get down to basically disclosure. That's what Third Phase of Moon's all about, and I think we've already had disclosure. It's already happening. It's just people aren't realizing it's right in front of their face. Look at some of this stuff, whether it's maybe extraterrestrial in origin, that remains to be seen, but who doesn't agree here that there's technology that has been reverse engineered and it's not being shared with us? I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will agree with me on that, and that's the whole point of Third Phase Moon. We want to answer the big question. We want this technology for ourselves. So what caused this atmospheric disturbance, possibly in the stratosphere? Right now, it remains a mystery to us, but I hope we could find out very soon. So we're looking at this footage, and a lot of people are going to say, well, this could be some kind of blimp, air balloon show going on. Right now, we're not seeing any kind of undercarriage or a gondola, and I like the way the person's panning around, showing the area and getting kind of some perspective on this object. We're going to pull in a closer shot
And take a look at this. It looks like a disc-shaped metallic object above and this kind of orange cone underneath. It's really bizarre, but that was an incredible close-up image there. Again, you can see the person's kind of struggling to hold a steady shot, but hey, if you're seeing something this grand in the sky, this big, look, we're pulling it in a closer shot again. Same features, no gondola. Who's operating it? Nobody. And again, this thing's quite large. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, Blake, definitely we've been seeing these acorn kind of shaped craft over there in South America. This one's, again, it has these weird qualities. You can see, like Blake just said, that kind of disc shaped right on the top. It looks like your classic flying saucer, and then the acorn kind of thing protruding beneath it. It's pretty cool. I'd estimate the size of this thing to be probably about 30 to 40 feet. Here's a good close-up of it again. You can almost see, if people might even say, a window on the top of it, this kind of horizontal window shape. It's pretty fascinating. I really like this capture, Blake.
Yeah, and some broad daylight, this is what we want, and it's crystal clear footage comparatively to some of the stuff the Pentagon's putting out or being leaked by filmmakers. But again, we're looking at it close. It has this reddish hue, and again, it was a little clearer in the other shot where you could almost make out like these portholes peering from this craft. What the heck is going on here? We even have more videos coming in from around the world, out of Asia. Watch this. All right, let's take a good look at this again. What is going on? Could this be some kind of maybe reflection from within the building itself? I don't think so. You can see that this craft, whatever it is, it's up there in the sky and it's massive. Whatever it is, what are we looking at, guys? Is this something otherworldly or something in regards to secret Space Force black project? I'm not exactly sure. This thing's pretty crazy. Your thoughts here, Brent?
Yeah, notice the tail and the way it changes colors. Could this be a large single craft or multiple craft? It's strange. Some people might say that it's just an LED kite floating up there above the sky rim of the city over there, but this thing's pretty high up there and it just seems to stay in the exact same spot. And to put lights on a kite, really it's not very feasible. It'll put too much weight on it. This thing seems to be just hanging over there above the city and making its appearance. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and maybe if it's coming out of China, they're trying to hide this footage at the moment. It's hard to get footage out of there, but when we're looking at this, it almost seems like it's there. It was a full moon, and you could see almost the moonlight shimmer upon the craft itself, giving its size and dimension. And again, these lights coming out of these portholes. We've heard of these kind of Tic-tac, cigar-shaped craft. They've been around for over a century. We've had reports in the 1880s of these things. Are they making an appearance? Are they not hiding anymore? It seems these UFO sightings are on the rise and they're getting close.
Yeah, it's people like you guys keeping your eyes on the sky, having a camera ready, knowing to look up and have that opportunity when it's in front of your face. You're going to pull it out and film it and send this footage straight to Third Phase of Moon. Again, people are the ones that are going to give disclosure, and we're not really seeing much coming up from these government leaks, and it seems like we're going to have to sit on Third Phase of Moon to get the news out because our government's not going to give us nothing. What is this in the sky in Asia?
I don't know, but I'm estimating this thing's at least 50 to 75, 100 yards in length. Again, it just remains stationary, and that's a good indicator that it's not any kind of blimp or
helicopter, airplane, whatever it is. It's spectacular footage. We're looking at this very closely. We're slowing it down. This came in from Jaime Maussan, and we're gonna get a close look at this. Is this legit, or is this some possible massive hoax? All right, we're getting a close look, and right now the illuminance from this craft, this donut-shaped craft, seems legitimate. Brett, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, this thing's pretty wild. Look at the erratic maneuvers it's doing, and it's creating this donut shape like we're seeing right here. Again, could this be CGI and manipulated? I like the features, though. It's still curious. Everything around it seems kind of legitimate. Even the pixels around the close-up. The dynamics around this craft, if that's what it is outstanding. But still, looking at this thing and not really having a source behind it, I'm still suspect to what we're looking at here. Even though it's fantastic, we're sharing it right now. But then again, I'm still leaning maybe towards CGI. Now, look at this new video. Again, coming in from South America. What are we looking at here, Blake?
Again, we're getting these craft coming in from all the places that we expect. In the region of Mexico and beyond, we even have more illuminated lights that resemble the same exact thing that we're just looking at. And this maybe could confirm that whatever's going on is on a consistent basis. And we have different angles from different sources. So this is proving a lot. Look at, we have one from 2021, just earlier in Phoenix, and now in this region of this crazy ring-shaped object that's performing maneuvers that seems unconventional. This isn't a drone, and if this isn't CGI, then what the heck is it? This is something that needs to be seen. So if you're joining us right now, tell your friends Third Phase of Moon's live, because we got a lot of UFO sightings coming up in this episode, right?
Yeah, you see everybody piling in. That's great. All the regulars are friends, the third phasers. You guys rock. Again, we have this Phoenix sighting comparatively to what was captured in South America. They do resemble the same object. So it could be a possibility that what we're looking at here is legitimate, and that's something to question.
All right, so definitely this deserves our opinions, because this mysterious light, whatever it is, seems to have landed and skidded into its position, and we're looking at its glory, the full frame captured by the opportunity. And this is amazing quality that we're looking at. And in my opinion, this is not lens refraction of light. This is something there. You could see that there is indication of some kind of debris that was brought up. Whatever this object was seems to have been the reason behind this skidding across the surface of the red planet. We're looking at it really close now, and it's incredible stuff. It is a strange light. Is it a spacecraft? Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Look at this thing. It seems to really reflect the light off whatever it is glimmering, and this kind of skid mark that we see here really indicates that it's there. What is this? It seems like NASA's trying to hide, again, things on Mars. This will probably be scrubbed in no time soon. This is a good close-up right here. And we see kind of two, like, spokes at the top of this craft or vehicle. And then it seems like it has a support system at the bottom to hold this craft or whatever it is.
Absolutely. And there was some artificial intelligence done to some of the imagery to clear it up, clean this image, but now we're looking at 4 different images of the same light source. And at one point it seems to be a figure walking away from this debris field or whatever it is. Amazing stuff, guys. What do you think? And now let's take it out to this incredible video coming in from Colombia. Watch.
Unidentified flying object.
So the analysis on this video is that it's legit, and whatever was captured in the Medellin, Colombia, earlier this year seems to be an incredible capture. We received this video today and we looked at it very closely, and whatever this pyramid-shaped object is, it's there and it's in the skies. This isn't no pyramid-shaped kind of thing that you would see by our military with their, bokeh lens effect. There's no bokeh lens effect happening here. This is an incredible thing, and we can see that whatever's up there, by watching this video, it's there. As he pulls away and as he zooms in, you can see that this would be pretty much impossible to fake. We're going to get a closer look at this object. This is incredible stuff. Brian, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, again, looking at this, look at that point at the bottom of this pyramidal shape that's pointing kind of downwards, which is interesting to say the least. Is this real? We've seen this kind of phenomenon of videos of these kind of large triangles over the Pentagon and even Russia that prove to be CGI representation. Is this real? And if indeed it is, we've got a good one here, guys.
Yeah, again, we're looking at it pretty closely, and I'd have to say this is legit. We did notice a small object below it. Could this be maybe just some kind of hot air balloon? And that's the gondola. That's a possibility. We're looking for the answers, and that's why we're posting these videos right here at Third Phase Moon. So let's get to the next one right now.
Unidentified flying object. Unidentified flying object. Unidentified flying object.
So let's analyze this and take a closer look, because whatever this object is represents the classic flying saucer that we see in the region. Brazil is one of these places that the flying saucer, these dish-shaped objects, appear everywhere. Is there a reason why we don't see these kind of dish-shaped objects over America or any other country? Much more in South America and the region of Brazil. We're looking at this, and I'm liking the way the person actually captured this. It's a little shaky. He's trying to zoom in. We're getting a good close-up of this, and we don't see any kind of gondola or any indication that this is a blimp or anything like that. And it's not a drone. We didn't see any prop propellers either. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, this is totally legit. Hats off to Jaime Musan for wanting us to share this to the world right now in America. This is a good one. And this one actually represents what we just saw in the last frame. There's Brazil. It lights up with these unique craft, and they seem identical in two different locations. Really cool pull off on the camera people that are actually capturing these images. Look at the comparison from left to right. They match up pretty much identically. And here's another one from Colombia. Again, look at the similarities of these objects. They seem metallic, they seem silver, and people on the ground are capturing this on a daily basis. It seems to light up over there. What's happening?
Yeah, from what we're hearing, and here's another great one coming out of Colombia once again, that indicates that they're not hiding over there in that region. And maybe it's because of their military, that they're not so advanced as what we have in the United States. So they're, kind of not hiding in that region, and they're showing themselves. So this is incredible stuff. I love these broad daylight sightings. Give us a big thumbs up if you're enjoying it right now on Third Phase Moon. Thanks for joining us in this live premiere. We got even this incredible sighting of what looks to be the infamous Bigfoot.
There is no identification.
What's the message?
Message as follows. It is dangerous to remain here. You must leave within 2 days.
What?
Do you want me to repeat the message, Dr. Floyd?
So we won't cover the Bigfoot phenomenon, the cryptids, but this is one that stands out, and we do once in a great while showcase some of the evidence, the video evidence of the elusive Bigfoot, and what we're looking at seems pretty amazing to me. This isn't any kind of ape or gorilla standing upright. Whatever it is something incredibly large. Look at this guy. If indeed this is some kind of person suited up in a Bigfoot, there would be a lot of work that would be put into this. And maybe what we're looking at is possibly genuine. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, Blake, this is the best video of Bigfoot since the James Patterson tape, film that was seen decades ago. And this really resembles what we're looking at. The fur, the arms, everything. The muscular motion of this beast, if that's what it is, seems to be pretty much legitimate in my view of what we're looking at here. Here's a good close-up. You can see the ears, the heavy brow above the eyes over there, the hair, everything seems to be matching perfectly. If this was a costume that was done in Hollywood, I would estimate the price would be about $50,000 to $30,000 to create this kind of event. Look at the size of this thing, the girth, and the whole mass of it. This thing looks like it weighs like probably about 500 to 600 pounds. This thing's heavy.
Yeah, it's interesting. And again, if this is some kind of massive hoax, then we have two perpetrators. You have the person behind the camera and the person within the costume, if that's what it is. And look at this. We're seeing the size in comparison, and it's amazing. The feet seem to be really incredible. Look at this. This is not some kind of costume, and if it is, they did a hell of a job. Brent.
Yeah, again, for Bigfoot enthusiasts that are interested in the subject, we follow it every once in a while at Third Phase of Moon, but this one really caught our eye. Let's get this slow down look of this. It really portrays the gait of this creature, the Bigfoot walking. It seems like it has a lot of weight to it. It doesn't seem like it's flimsy or clumsy in any way. It seems like it just has its motion where it wants to go without thought.
Yeah, it's just wandering through the wilderness there as a natural being. There's a mystery behind this video, and unfortunately, there's only a few frames that we're able to share with you. Hopefully, we get more information on who shot this, maybe an interview with the person who shot this, and get to the bottom of this incredible video. Like you said, Brent, earlier, this represents some of the best evidence that I've seen since the James Patterson film. So, wow, guys, if you capture Bigfoot like this, don't hesitate to share it with us right here at Third Phase of Moon.
Oh, guys, that's a UFO. Yo. Oh, shit. Yo, there's a UFO right here. I got it. First on camera. UFO. Right here, CCP. Oh. Oh, shit.
So let's review this once again and zoom in about 150% to get a closer look at whatever this object is. At first, I thought it could have been a blimp, but we're not seeing any FAA lights blinking on this thing. This is a consistent shadow, no lights whatsoever, and it's too big to be a drone or a banner. It just remains stationary. What's going on here? I want to get your guys' opinion in the live premiere right now. Brent, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, the cameraman's doing the best job he can. He zooms in and he's in a good vantage point, and you can see he's kind of stuck in position. He needs to hold this shot, and whatever he's producing actually has a lot of evidence to it. Like you said, there's no FAA lights blinking on this thing, and it does look like your classic flying saucer shaped disc. What is this? You can see it's blackened. Some people might say this is just a cloud hanging there, but the atmospheric phenomenon, everything else around it, doesn't match what people might say in this. This is indeed something hanging in the sky. I'm saying it's floating. Whatever it is, the propulsion behind this, and this good still image, check it out. We're zoomed in 65%. we're still not getting a whole lot of detail. But then again, that's what UFOs are. It's unidentified. The big question, what is this?
Absolutely, Brent. And again, we don't claim to be experts here. We're just giving you our opinions, and that's the best we could do, and allow you to share your opinions in the comments as we do this. Share the evidence. And I think we're experts at getting it out as fast as possible. We could say that much. But as we reduce the speed to 60%, again, we're not seeing any indicators of any kind of drone or FAA lights. There's something going on here that needs to be answered. What happened in the Bronx earlier this month? If you've captured anything like this in New York City or anywhere in that region, you let us know. Now, let's get to the next video coming in right here at Third Phase of Moon. Give us a big thumbs up. Roll it. So first off, when we review this video, we want to thank the Hidden Underbelly 2.0 for allowing us permission from the person who shot it, an amateur astronomer who was able to capture these multi-lights captured on the lunar surface in different regions of the area. Is this some kind of communication of bases on the moon itself? This is spectacular stuff. We're not seeing any kind of manipulation of the video. What we're looking at, in my opinion, is legitimate. The question is, where is the source of these lights coming from? We have multiple sources as it appears across the surface. Is this, again, some kind of communication, Brent?
Yeah, not an expert in Morse code, but I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there on Third Phase that know exactly what that is. If you see any message in this, let us know. I'd love to see that in the comments. I like the way you can see the pan and these flashy lights right there. You saw that, and it keeps repeating this signal, if that's what it is. Could this be a special effect? Somebody brought this in and took it to After Effects and created this. I'm leaning towards not that being the case. What we're looking at is legitimate, and I'm glad that the Hidden Underbelly got this for us. Are there bases on the moon? I believe so. Have we been to the moon? Oh, yes, we have. And are we having bases there and doing operations, that's a big possibility. And this looks like it is.
Absolutely, as we're looking at this second angle, and we're going to be sharing the original link below so you can take a look at it for yourself. These luminous bright lights pulsating are very, very bright. I don't think this is some kind of reflection off a crater from the sun. No, there's some kind of, again, in my opinion, some communication going on here between possible bases on the moon. Well, this is big speculation, but wow, look at this video. This is evidence right here.
Yeah, I like the way this telephoto lens is pulling up on the moon, and you kind of see the refraction of the atmosphere bleeding across the moon. So that's making me lean that this is the real deal. Here's a good representation of what this could be, a base on the moon, especially the dark side.
But this isn't on the dark side, and this representation could be exactly what we're looking at. And as amateur astronomers capture this, we want to see your evidence, so please feel free to share it. Our contact is in the description below. Now, let's get to this next incredible video. Buckle up. This one's a crazy one. Watch this. So we're looking at this video again, and I want to get you guys' opinions. What the heck is this? Broad daylight sighting once again, and we have multiple eyewitnesses of this disc just hovering there above the city for quite a period of time. What the heck is going on here? They're not hiding, and we've got the videos, and we've got the close-up right here for you. This is cylindrical in nature. It's not any kind of airship or blimp or drone. Obviously, we're looking at something crazy here. Something that is unidentified, possibly alien in nature. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, again, curious. It's a great capture. Look at the color. It has this purple kind of hue around the craft at this close-up that we're looking at, and even a black tip to the right side of it. It's unique. I'm ruling out a blimp or drone. Absolutely. What we're seeing are these craft that resemble something that's not in our assets and any of this kind of technology. With the eyewitnesses on the ground, you can see the mass sighting happening right there across the mass city. It's some distance away, but these guys and the whole city is actually getting a good close-up of what this disc is, and they're very interested. What's going on in the skies in that region?
The questions are abound, and are we getting the answers? Well, you're getting the video. You're getting the video evidence right here on a daily basis, pretty much right here at Thirdphaseofmoon. And once again, we're bringing it to you of this strange saucer-shaped craft with its purplish hue and that black tip, as you mentioned there, Brent. What is this? Again, we're not seeing any gondola under this craft. What's the propulsion behind it? It's just hovering there, and we're not seeing any kind of means of propulsion that keeps this thing airborne. We're not seeing any wings on it, tails, propellers, nothing. This is hovering on its own. And again, we're rolling out any kind of airship. It's hard to imagine with all these people looking at this, that this isn't making the major news right now. But we're kind of ahead of the curve right here at Thirdphaseofmoon. Let me tell you, we're breaking it down before the major news picks up on these stories, and that's kind of our speciality. We're bringing the evidence from the people, and once again, we're looking at this crazy disc just hovering there, static in the sky. Brent?
Yeah, how big is this thing? I'm estimating about maybe 80 to 100 feet in length. It's probably the size of maybe 2 school buses. It's rather large, and the unique characteristics of the craft leans one to the imagination. Where's this coming from, and what is it, and what's its purpose just hanging over the city like that? Again, with multiple angles and the crowds actually filming this really adds a lot of legitimacy to this sighting. It's awesome.
Absolutely, and I'm digging the enhancements here. And guys, I want to get your thoughts on this. Let's just watch in detail here as the crowd looks at whatever this object is.
There's a phenomenon, and it's happening right now on a daily basis, and we've got the video. So guys, I want you to give me your answers of what you just saw in the last submission. Let's get to the next one right now. Take a close look at this.
So we're looking at this video again. Are lightning storms magnets for UFOs? Are they harnessing the energy? We look at this quick flash of light as the cloud erupts with lightning, and then the streak of light seems to appear to traverse into the cloud storm. We're slowing it down, getting a close look at this. We're tracking it, and again, this could be some kind of refraction of light, but it's interesting to note that there's a lot of UFO sightings that happen around thunderstorms. Is this some kind of lightning anomaly? Maybe static electricity? Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, we're looking at a lightning storm, and the activity is pretty pronounced. We can see the flashing of the thunder back, highlighting the clouds. Again, is it a UFO interacting with this cell? I'm not sure. What I'm looking at some points, I do see the car move in sequence with the reflection itself. Is this being captured within the lens of the camera? And I'm kind of leaning towards that. Look how the direction of this car leans to the right, and the reflection starts to banks to the left, almost in coordination of it, a dance in the camera lens itself.
Again, it could be a refraction of light, but it seems to, as it enters this cloud formation, it lights up at the perfect timing as well. So that's interesting. Did this craft, captured from different angles, interact with this huge thunderstorm? And is it powering up the cell itself? Because within the shot, it seems interesting as we're looking at this video once again in normal time. Guys, what's going on here? Is this a refraction of the lens, or is it something atmospheric really in the sky? It seems from the eyewitness who captured this was just wanting to film the thunderstorm and got lucky with this streak of light. But again, you see these cars moving across left to right, and I'm thinking it's more of a refraction of light at this moment.
Definitely the rod theory kicks in, and flying rods. Is this what we're looking at? Again, the big question, is there a correlation with the cars and the lens itself creating this phenomenon in the light in the camera itself? And that's a big possibility. Again, it's a good capture. We're not going to rule out anything. That's why we're sharing it right here at Third Phase of Moon. These are UFOs, and that's what we're talking about. We're just trying to identify what we're looking at.
Yeah, and once again, this bolt of streak of light lights up this cell of a thunderstorm. Pretty interesting, guys. Again, we don't claim to be experts. We have our opinions, and we see a lot of videos, tens of thousands of them over the years. But right now, we're just putting it out there, and we're the experts getting it out to you as fast as possible. So as we watch this a little bit more, guys, we want to get your opinions. That's what it's all about here. Once again, from right to left, it impacts that storm cell, and then we have other references of video. This is a good.
Guys, I want to get your opinions. What do you think was captured in that latest video? The people are having their cell phones on the skies, and we're the place to share the videos as they come in. So let's roll the next one right now. Give me your thoughts and watch this. We have the panel, Dr. J. Andy Elias, along with Michael from Dark Hour Paranormal and retired physicist Alex Gershowitz, who's going to be going over this video in incredible detail. Let's just get it started with Dr. J. What do you think, Dr. J?
UFO, UAP, fast walker, flying saucer, they're all synonymous for what people cannot identify. Unidentified aerial phenomena, unidentified flying objects, they're all essentially the same. Here we have a light in the daytime, but the light is fairly close and it's shining extremely brightly. But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part is it going from very slow to extremely fast in literally a second or two. I believe the speed is a mile a second. Nothing on Earth can create that, of course, unless we created an alien reproduction vehicle, or if our scientists discovered a new method. We see no tails, no wings, no rotors, nothing that would give this credence to say, hey, look, this is like an F-14 Tomcat or a Sikorsky helicopter. No, this is completely different. And moreover, if this was whatever it is said to be, if it's US made or China made or Russian made or whatever, if it's terrestrial made, why would they want to test it over residential and commercial grounds? You wouldn't. You would test it in places like Area 51, aka Groom Lake. Why? Because it's in the middle of nowhere. And of course, we know there are other bases that we don't know of. Area 51 only became popular, especially because of Bob Lazar. And now another thing, if this was piloted, the inertia would destroy the pilot, or whatever it be, whether it be a human, an alien, or a hybrid. Regardless, it would kill it. Even if it's half human, half AI. Nothing can go that fast unless it's enveloped in some sort of gravitational field. Another thing I want to mention is if you were a private military contractor or a military general, and you were in charge of this program, why would you test this over civilian grounds? You would not. You would test it over Area 51 in the middle of nowhere. The fact that this is being tested is either for a couple of reasons. One, because we created it and we're trying to show our adversaries, don't mess with us. This is the kind of weaponry we have now. Or two, they have no idea what it is. And let's just say one more thing. They're no longer hiding anymore. The UFOs, UAPs, drones, whatever you want to call them, they are not only being witnessed on almost a daily basis, I believe on a daily basis around the world, but they're being filmed. That's the best part. And so the acclimation that we're going towards of slow dripping this disclosure or getting us ready for whatever this is been up for the last 18 months to 24 months.
All right, now let's take it to Dark Hour Paranormal. Michael, what do you got?
Now, when I'm looking at this video clip, immediately I notice that the object that's zipping right towards us is not entirely round. It does appear that there's some detail on the face, and if you zoom up and slow down the video a bit, you will see what appears to be two illuminated circles, which to me look like headlights. That's really interesting. A lot of the crafts that we see in the sky that we can't explain do have plenty of lights, but they don't necessarily resemble something conventional. Another thing that I noticed while watching this clip is this object appears from the nearby forest. Could there be a tunnel system within there somewhere? Or was the craft possibly cloaked in front of the tree line and we just didn't see it until that moment that it decided to start moving again? Now, in certain countries, populations may know more or less about secret high technology and ET presence in general. Each government has its own code of conduct. Therefore, certain cultures may be more exposed to specific sightings and events. This is interesting, seeing this footage in all its glory as this craft just zips by. I mean, again, the question that begs to be answered, is this our technology, or is this something more extraterrestrial? The craft itself isn't very big. So, again, I start thinking in the way of monitoring systems or drones, possibly from us, reverse engineered from perhaps a different species.
Interesting stuff there, Mike. Now, let's take it out to Alex Gershowitz. Alex, what did you come up with after looking at this video?
Hi, Alex here for Thirdphaseofmoon. So I'm looking at a video that came in from Japan, and it shows a fairly rural setting. It's a small town or a village, someplace in the mountains, and what you see is an incredibly fast-moving object going from center right to lower left. And it's definitely in a controlled flight. It's not fluttering, it's moving incredibly fast. It's so fast, in fact, that it's hard to slow it down, and when you slow it down, it doesn't really show you what it is. At first, I thought it was a metapropulsion craft. That's a phrase I made up for vehicles whose propulsion systems defies my understanding. But we took a screen grab of one of the frames, and it looks like a flat surface with something like a rotor on top. There's a shadow on the surface of the vehicle, and there's also something underneath it that could also be a rotor. So at this point, I would say it's an incredibly fast-moving drone. If those two things are rotors, then it's a drone. But I have to tell you, I have no idea what that is. I've never seen a drone that looks like that. They're obviously fast drones. There are drones that can go in the hundreds of miles an hour. But I don't know what this is. I really don't.
In the field of ufology, it doesn't really get much better than this. You wait for times when somebody out there comes across something, a once in a lifetime. Well, that just happened to us. In the past 12 hours, I received an email via my Facebook from a lady named Brenda. Apparently, she came across some documents that got her interest, and she thought the Third Phase Moon team should take a closer look at them. And as we're looking at some of these images, which reveal possible underground bases, tunnel systems all across America, it's baffling to find out after all these years, some of these maps are maybe being seen for the first time to the world. After looking at the maps a little closer and some of the diagrams, you notice some of the statements, and it definitely captures the mind whether we're alone or not. Apparently, the United States Marine base, known as 29 Palms, could be a diagnostic facility for an alien research operation. The documents appear to be legit. They seem to be approximately 40 to 50 years old. We're looking at it and they seem authentic. The implications behind these maps could reveal a whole underground labyrinth, subterranean tunnels that lead all across the United States.
Another amazing find, guys. I'm really glad that we have viewers that are willing to send stuff like this to us. It's amazing. It really makes this job worth it. And I want to talk about the first map that we see here. It says military view of California. I'm saying this. I'm going to say this is a military flight chart of a portion of California, and these thick lines, I think, are the tunnel systems leading to all the different bases. And it's basically a topographic map. So, and the fact that it says underground base in multiple locations kind of gives it away. But this is really this is a good find. This is a good find.
Definitely very astounding images. And you know, it's really treasures like these that are found in people's homes, trailers, garages, offices, basements, etc., that add more pieces to the puzzle. Now, let me say this first of all. There have been lots of stories about DUMBs been going around for decades. DUMBs, D-U-M-B, as in deep underground military bunkers. Also, along with deep underground military bunkers, has the theories been going around that extraterrestrials are also residing down there, possibly doing research, sometimes along with humans. Regardless, theories have been going around globally. Now, the person who drew this, I have to say, is not your average Joe Schmo who saw a few documentaries and decided, okay, let's draw an elaborate, underground base. I think if someone's imagination was to go there, they probably would have put in some less detailed stuff as far as the technical abilities about how to build this, as opposed to more fantastic stuff. Now, the first document here is 29 Palms, right here in Southern California, purportedly linked to Area 51 via underground tunnel. So the fact that this first document touches on an underground extraterrestrial research facility right here in Southern California is not surprising to me. What is surprising to me is the level of detail in this drawing.
So I'm reviewing the documents that were recently submitted to Thirdphaseofmoon via a civilian who inadvertently had found them in one way, shape, or form. As a total, looking at all of these collectively, I think there may be something in the way of validation here, and we will definitely get to the bottom of it to the best of our ability. Looking at the first document, bases in the southwestern U.S., we have a hand-drawn map which depicts what they are saying are military bases all throughout southwestern U.S. And you're also provided with a key that shows these simple illustrations and what they represent, along with some text on the bottom in these paragraphs, which essentially dictate a story wherein a woman was married to a man who disappeared, and she had initially said he died, but then retracted that and said that, in her words, he was drafted onto Mars. So that's interesting, but I don't see anything else in the way of that story or text in any of the other documents that we have here. Moving forward, most of these documents, I think, are representations of themselves. There's a bit of reiteration, but expressed in different detail. So the one I'm looking at now is the military view of California. And again, we have a heavy hand when it comes to the print. There's lots of detail in the way of the geography. And we're seeing these long stretches of tunnels that connect these enormous underground complexes together. Now, I think we all had our suspicions that these were interconnected, but now we're seeing on the maps that that is exactly the case. That being said, Moving on to 29 Palms facility. Now this is an outline or a blueprint in one way, shape, or form of the facility, and again we're seeing many of these really thick underground tunnels that do connect to other places. I think it's really interesting that we have a detailed map underneath of this facility wherein it's showing the route of the troops and what time that they're there moving forward, and also the main entrance to the facility. Again, these are documents that, you know, you'd be very hard pressed to find anywhere else but the way that we're finding them right now. The last one I'll comment on, and before I do that, I just wanted to bring up something interesting in the way of the validity here. A lot of what we're seeing in the way of the illustration, it definitely looks hand-drawn. But the print itself, and we find two dates, 1978, 1974, I think it was, and maybe 90, but we're not 100% sure on that exactly. You're seeing some of the print that's offset, which would be reminiscent of the use of typewriters or something like that. So I find that interesting, and of course the printing methods back then were not as polished as they are today, and so you're seeing some ink splattering coming from the roller, indicating that, again, these may be some actual old prints. So the last one I'm looking at is, again, a reiteration of the first map with the southwestern United States, but it is a bit more naked without the borderline states that are around there, and we're still seeing this interconnection, this interweaving spider web of military bases that again are all interconnected. I also find it fascinating that some of them are shown to be offshore. So while we've all had our suspicions about military bases underground, which has been founded to some degree, we always had suspicion, at least conjecture in certain ways, about the existence of these being underwater.
Wow, so what we're looking at here is really incredible, because basically what this does is validate what many insiders have come forward with in the disclosure community for about the past 20 years. So we've had insiders coming forward saying that there are basically these underground bases that ETs supposedly work with our government in all around the country. So what we're looking at here is a base that is in 29 Palms. So obviously the first facilities that come to mind are S4, Groom Lake, Dulce, New Mexico. Tons of insiders have come forward with information on that. And you know, with Dulce, New Mexico especially, many insiders have said that our government has been working with ET races in this facility. So that makes me wonder, all these facilities that are interconnected, are they run by ETs? Are they run strictly by our government? ETs are coming here to work with them? Is it like a joint thing? You know, I really feel like this could have a lot to do with the inner Earth ETs, that, you know, they're not necessarily aliens from other planets, but they're beings that have been living here for probably longer than the human race.
Sometimes when we receive information like this, it needs to be shared. We just got this information 12 hours ago, and now we're breaking it to you right here at Third Phase. You know what's happening here? 29 Palms, the largest marine military base in the world. Why wouldn't that be a research facility? It's very unique when we're looking at the text. It says United States Alien Research Diagnostic Facility. It just breaks it down right there. What's really happening at 29 Palms? I believe there's underground bases there that go down maybe a mile to maybe 3 or 4 miles. They have these elaborate tunnels that were built probably in the early 40s and 50s during kind of the post-war, and they're just kind of trying to figure out how we're going to protect our civilians in case of a nuclear attack. Now I'm thinking they're using these underground bases that they've created for such a long time, and why not use this as a alien underground base facility? And we've been hearing reports of UFOs off the coast of Malibu, and this discovery that was found underneath the water about 1,500 feet deep, this massive cathedral base. It's an amazing capture. And now Google Earth has actually scrubbed the image. We actually can't get a clear look at what we discovered about 10 years ago. So the evidence is trying to be scrubbed away by Google, and who else is trying to cover this up?
I'm glad that Brenda broke this down to us right here at Third Phase. And we have the panel going over their diagnostic details on what we're looking at here. And I think it's something special. It's been recorded throughout the United States for decades of strange sounds coming from the earth, and it really can't be explained. Could there be heavy machinery, some sort of like Manhattan Project that's happening under the earth of the United States in development, some sort of like weapon or technology that we just haven't seen yet? I believe so.
I spoke with Brenda just a little earlier. She gave me her story and how she came across these papers. Brenda, thanks for joining us today. You reached out to me just a couple days ago in regards to this information you came across, this paperwork, these maps, these old pages. Let's just start it off. How did you come across this paperwork, these documents?
Well, actually, we have a travel trailer in our backyard, and it's been sitting back there since we've gotten the property from my mother-in-law, and we've been cleaning it out. We got into this under storage compartment that's underneath the bed, like you can move the bed up like a Murphy bed kind of thing, and tucked away in the corner was all of those underneath, like pretty much the trailer. And I pulled them out and I was like, oh, this is just regular paper, whatever. And then my friend looks at it and she goes, no, you need to come here and look at this. You need to see what I'm looking at. And I go, what is it? What could it possibly be? And as soon as I laid eyes on it, I started to shake because I could not believe what I was reading. I'm like, this has got to be some kind of like, it's not real. And then I'm looking at it and I'm going, but this is just so, it's weird. It gave me the weirdest feeling, and I didn't know what to do, but thought of you guys and knew that you guys would know what to do with it.
Well, that's incredible because we're looking at the documents. We're going to be going over it with our panel in this episode, but I want to ask you, do you know who the previous owner of this trailer was? Anything like that?
Yes and no. I know that my mother-in-law bought it from a woman who used it as, because her husband was a truck driver, and she used to follow him cross-country with this trailer. All I know about him was that he was in the military of some kind, and that he was a truck driver. That's all we know.
So right now we received the high-res pictures and we're looking over them very closely, and they seem very dated. How old do you think these documents are, in your opinion? Is it fragile?
I mean, I'm 34, so I would have to say they're just as old as me, if not older, because the way the paper is, it's not like regular white paper. It's aged. It's got like a coffee hue to it. It's weird. It's very, very fragile, and I didn't even want to like open them and like mess with them too much because they could fall apart. So, yeah.
So when you're reading some of the documents, one of the documents reads the United States Alien Research. What does it say? It's like, what did you think when you started?
The United States Alien Research Facility, or what is it? Slash Research and Diagnostics Facility.
So what were you thinking when you read this for the first time?
I'm still feeling the way I was when I first saw them. It was like, no. But yes, because I totally believe, I'm totally a sky watcher. I'm into this. But I couldn't believe that the proof was right there in my face. That yes. And then now all of this other stuff that's coming out and stuff like that, it made it even that much more like incredible to me.
It's very interesting. Again, it seems very authentic. Would maybe in the future, people might be skeptical of this whole thing, thinking that this is a hoax. You made up this paperwork or something like this. In the future, if we want to do a follow-up, do you think we could, maybe get on location, videotape these documents, maybe put it under analysis to see how old this paperwork is, the ink it came from?
I was going to ask you guys if there was a way that we could do that, honestly, because I want this to be as real as it is to me right now, to everybody. I want everybody to have the same aha moment that I'm having and still having. So, yeah.
Brenda, appreciate you joining us on this special episode, and definitely we'll be going over the material that you just sent us via the panel. Brenda, be safe over there. We'll be keeping in touch.
All right, thank you so much, guys.
It's times like this when the public reacts. They have a place, they have a forum to share the information, and that's what we're doing right now, sharing these documents. What could they possibly mean? Something's going on underneath the earth itself in America. And some people feel the rattle and roll. They don't know where these booms, these rumblings from underneath the ground. Sometimes there's seismic activity without any kind of seismic readings. Could these subterranean tunnels that interconnect all over the United States be some kind of the reasons, the explanations behind the rumblings that people feel all across America? I got a feeling these documents need to be authenticated, just like Brenda says. That's what we're going to try and do.
She's super genuine. She's not trying to mislead anybody. She just wants to get to the truth on what's really happening. She said while she is looking at these documents, she could feel kind of her hair rise on the back of her neck. And while she is explaining the story, it's making the hair rise off my arm. This is incredible stuff. Could this be that smoking gun document that really reveals that there's a cover-up, that they are underground bases doing a research on alien reverse technology? And I think it's written in plain sight on these documents. So get ready, everybody. This could be it.
So when you look at the first map, at least my map here that shows the southwest region of the United States, there's a little bit of, I guess, the story or the narrative behind this person's involvement in this thing. I don't know, but at the bottom it talks about how his father worked with disc-shaped craft, and he met a woman who he tried to impress by telling her that he worked in the Pentagon and whatnot. And she said, oh yeah, well, I also worked in the Pentagon behind the green door. And I guess they shared information back and forth, but they were talking about how this railroad could be built underground, and it would be very expensive. Not a railroad, a tunnel system, like a rail system with magnetic propulsion, I guess. You know how it would just hover above the rails. And the thing was, it also says in here, they were talking about how the cost would be unimaginable. It would be unfeasible to get these monies to build a tunnel from New York to Los Angeles. But there was a machine that he said that I think they had or could make, and it's called a Subterranean, where it heats up the rock. I don't know what it would look like, but it's round. It would go into the ground, melt the rock, and then cool it off as it passes by, and you would wind up with this tunnel that was pristine and solid, and the walls would be like smooth but hard. Yeah, it's a pretty unbelievable thing. It also goes on to say how to run this machine, this tunnel maker, it would use nuclear power. Whether it would be nuclear power that we have today or whatever, it actually says we could use nuclear power, but it doesn't really say how. So it would be real interesting to see how this thing, if it is at all a real thing called the Subterranean. I think it's real. I think it's underground. I think this is a lot of the strange booms we hear, the noises we hear. They're boring under the ground.
You can tell that this was done with somebody with precision, like an architect or a draftsman. You can tell from the way they write the names of the bases. It's very block letters, like you would do in graph paper, which a lot of architects and draftsmen use, and that's just it's their standard format of font, and so you can tell it was done with some precision. Now, did they have a map underneath it that overlaid to kind of help them with this? I don't know, because this looks very old. It doesn't look like tracing paper to me, but a lot of these images seem to have been copied with a rolling printer machine. So, because the papers are a little bit larger than what we normally see, like legal documents or military documents back in the day. So this is a beautiful image. I love it. I'm into circles and lines myself, connecting the dots. This is a great find. The next one, the third one, shows the 29 Palms facility. And at first I'm like, okay, is that the base? Is that the outline of the base on the top? And then they happen to have a where does it show? United States Alien Research Diagnostic Facility. Then I thought, well, okay, you take that and you overlay it on the image below, showing the highway leading to Barstow, California, and highway north of Marine Base. You see what looks like a topographic map, and there's Constantine wire around one area that says main surface entrance. So is that main surface entrance to the image that we see above it with the tunnel system and the United States Alien Research Diagnostic Facility? I don't know. Peniston, aircraft restricted area. I mean, this is a pretty cool map.
On the map, it shows latitude, longitude. It also shows little sections. Kind of reminds me of looking at a map like this of Area 51, because all of the maps have different areas. Well, that's what this reminds me of, except this one, it shows thick black lines that are going through the California cities or underneath. I mean, these are the tunnels that they're talking about and showing us here. So it's a real interesting looking map. Somebody who's really specialized in maps could probably figure out what these numbers mean and everything. But for one, it's just more evidence that's showing us this story is most likely a real story. These maps are actually real, and somebody kept them all these years for whatever purpose. It's just amazing that there's a map like this found in a trailer. It's just unbelievable. We talk about it all the time, of the things that we're going to find, and this is one of those things that helps disclosure. And I'm glad I'm part of it, and you are now too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I wonder, this map only shows the west, but I wouldn't be surprised if it also connects to the underground bases on the east coast. So yeah, I think this is all very credible information. I mean, it really just validates many whistleblowers that have been coming forward the past 20 years.
Catalina, which we know very well. Catalina Islands is where the UAPs were seen, back in 2004 when it rained UFOs, if you guys remember that story. Chocolate Mountains, California, Camp Irwin, I believe, 29 Palms. This is amazing. It shows Groom Complex, S4, and then the line goes all the way. I'm assuming these are the maps of the underground tunnel system. And then another line goes to Dulce. Okay, this is amazing. Colorado SP, I don't know what that means. Creed, Colorado. There's points of origins here that, if this exists, is absolutely enormous. This goes all the way over to Arizona. And Wichita, Arizona. I know where that is. I live here, Tucson. So these tunnels are bored under the ground, thousands of miles underground. I'm going to make a bet and say the noises we hear, like the trumpets in the sky maybe, we're probably hearing them boring right under their feet, right under our feet. We don't even know it. This is an unbelievable find. I can't believe I'm holding this in my hand, looking at a map of possible secret underground military bases out of this world. Well, under this world.
What the heck is going on here? You got a celestial event and a possible rocket launch. Is there a war going above our heads right now? It seems that the coincidence of having this huge celestial object burn up, firing down into our atmosphere, and then you have this rocket seeming to launch up and out of our atmosphere. This is a little too close, in my opinion. Is there a correlation between what's going on with this one object and the other? Right now, we're trying to find out. Again, we're looking at this object to the right. It's purple in nature, but then also we see this kind of phenomenon with Elon Musk rocket launches. Is this one of them, Brent?
Yeah, I remember we're in LA a couple years ago. We're standing by with Dr. J on the hilltop waiting for Elon Musk rocket launch, and 5 minutes prior to countdown and liftoff, we saw a celestial event that almost looks like this. Pretty fascinating stuff. What we saw 2 years ago, it left a streak in the atmosphere and could be seen for hundreds of miles. It's quite the event and made the word in LA and around the whole area. What we're looking at here is a interesting catch. We're seeing a possible rocket launch and a celestial event at the same time. Very unique. I like this stuff.
Yeah, that's right, Brent. We're in Culver City looking over to Vandenberg, and we're waiting for the launch from Elon Musk. And then minutes before the launch, there was this celestial object that screamed down from the sky and left this trail of smoke that was visible for 15 to 30 minutes after this celestial flash of light. And then Elon Musk, within moments of this, had the whole thing scrubbed. They did not launch the heavy lift rocket. Now we're having the same phenomenon in regards in close proximity to this. This is very strange indeed. Now let's get to this. More videos coming in. Talk about Bizarro. Watch this morphing UFO. All right, we're looking at it once again here, and I'm kind of confused here, guys. What is this? When they talk about morphing UFOs, well, this is the epitome right here. This thing can't remain in a single shape for more than a second. It continues to morph in its design. Is this biological in nature, Brett? What's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, this is weird, Blake. We're looking at this thing, and you can see like tentacles kind of like popping out of this object. It's black. We really can't make out a shape because it keeps moving and distorting itself. Very weird, curious object. I like the way the guy films it. He pulls back, and you can kind of see landscape. This thing's pretty large, and we don't know what it is. Very strange stuff, to say the least.
Yeah, this is kind of freaking me out, Brent. I don't know whether I should name this video tonight Bizarro, because right now I'm saying this is very strange indeed, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are in this live premiere, and give us a big thumbs up if you're enjoying the UFO content. I'm rolling it now, and we're checking this out. I'm just seeing some kind of a static. Whoa. So we have a close encounter of something in close proximity to a massive military airliner. We don't see this every day. I'm trying to get a good look at this. Man, it seems like whatever it was really close. Whoever captured this got lucky. And this is that moment in time where you have that split-second opportunity to capture a once-in-a-lifetime. And this is it right now, is what I'm looking at. Seems legit. What is it? Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'm not sure if it's a military or a commercial airliner. It's big, and what's fascinating is how close this thing's engaging this huge spacecraft or whatever it is. This thing's massive. Now look at this. It's a still photo. We're looking at this point of an object, and it's rather large. It's almost half the size of the engine of this plane. It's massive, and it's moving. And could there have been a collision? This is what people talk about, the threat of UAPs on a collision course with whatever's flying in the skies. this is clear evidence of something like that. But I do believe the UAPs, alien technology, would be able to hide and divert and never crash into anything with our technology. They'd be able to divert a situation. We're looking at something here that really resembles what was caught on the same day.
The evidence is strong with this one, especially when you have the side-by-side comparisons with other UFOs from the area in Colombia, Brazil, Mexico. Why there and why are they not hiding? We got these videos coming in from that region, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia. It seems that they're not hiding anymore in that region. Broad daylight sightings on a consistent basis right here at Third Phase Moon. We're sharing it, and I'm looking at this stuff, and now they're getting close to these commercial airlines, and I don't think they're a threat. They could divert, move around, have no issue with commercial airliners. They could wrap around that thing like nobody's business. So maybe they're just hanging out, and that person got lucky, and we're seeing these other videos right now as we roll this. It looks very similar to what we just saw in this video just earlier with this, saucer-shaped craft in close proximity to this military or commercial airliner. We're not sure here, but Colombia, Costa Rica, again, lit up. Colombia, all over the place. What's going on above our heads, Brent? Any thoughts? These videos are legit. We're looking at it.
Yeah, for sure. Jaime Maussan's been keeping us updated with the best UFOs out of that region and beyond. And we're seeing a plethora of these kind of spacecraft, and very unique in its own way. That they don't travel like we see in drone technology or even balloons. This is something entirely different. They look metallic. They kind of move in the same similar fashion. And then to have these things so close next to a commercial or military airliner is quite concerning by, I'm sure, a lot of people. But again, we're going to get a good close-up of this one again with what happened today of this close encounter with a UFO by colossal status right here. Nobody's ever seen a UFO this close in recent days.
Yeah, that's right, Brent, and we're sharing it as fast as possible. Good job getting all this archive.
All right, so we got to take a look at a couple of things here with this one. This comes from that part of the world where they see these types of craft on the regular. We've seen them recently on other channels, including here on Third Phase of Moon, but this one looks eerily close to this airplane. Now, we've heard reports coming in all the way back in February of this year where cylindrical objects were flying over airplanes, where just a few days ago a submarine ran into something or something hit it near the waters of China. So I don't know if this is the threat that we're all talking about, but this is a threat we should be talking about. This is really unbelievable. I don't know if this is a balloon or a UFO, but if it's a balloon, why is it here? It shouldn't be in this area. It looks like it's floating, but I'm not sure if it's a UFO. However, these UFOs have been seen. You saw in the video just before this analysis that these have been seen all over the area. I just don't know, but it's cool. All right, here we go. Tic-tac.
I'm digging this one. we got a good look at it, and we're seeing this cylindrical shape again, these flying craft that make really no sense of propulsion. They're basically defying gravity. The flight characteristics seem intelligent. It has a kind of a purpose of where it's going. We're going to get a couple looks at this. Now we got contrast with some contrast to make it pop. You can see that again, this object is traversing the skies. It's a beautiful day. It's a great capture. You can see the clouds, the cumulus clouds, and what comes up next is going to blow your mind. We see the craft just moving, and watch this. We get a close-up and you see another traveler. Could that be a drone? It's hard to tell, but it seems like another anomaly up in the sky while we're capturing this great evidence right here at Third Phase. What's your thoughts in the chat? What is this? Again, we need to look at this a little closer and longer. Anybody out there, have you seen a craft like this? You let us know. Again, we don't see propulsion of any sort. We don't see any trail that's leading behind it, leaving a wake of exhaust. We don't see any wings, which again leans to something that seems otherworldly. Again, we know about the Tic-tac, and this kind of has a resemblance of the Tic-tac itself, most definitely. Could this be it?
Yeah, this is a very interesting UFO because the first thing you want to say is it looks like it could be a floating balloon. But I would rethink that if I were you. This thing is actually booking through the sky, but you see right here, there's a dot right there that it just passed by that looked like it could be either a UFO in the distance or it was a drone. We couldn't tell, but look at this thing. This looks like it's actually flying with intent. Could it be a remote control? See, there's that dot again. Could it be a remote control type of blimp? I don't see any propellers on it. Not here, but when we get close up, I don't see anything that tells me this is a one-prop drone. We never get close enough. Even if I was to zoom in, it still doesn't give any more clarity than what we're seeing here. This is rather interesting. There's that dot again. See it? I like this one. I don't know, man. I think this is something... There it is again, passing by that dot. If this was a balloon, it would be all over the place. This looks like it's being fueled with intention, and it's going in. It's going where it wants to go. Let's just put it that way. I don't know. I don't think this is a balloon. I think we have a legitimate UAP. All right, next strange light phenomenon. This one's really good.
Here's a good close-up. We can see these lights against strange atmospheric phenomenon. Could this be what we're looking at? We see these pulsating white orbs of light that are seems like they're connected, like it's basically a one craft itself. And again, we're not seeing drone capabilities or techniques. It's a weird sighting, and I'm leaning towards this being, again, something that's unexplained. UAPs, UFOs, you call it what you want. We're looking at something, it's a phenomenon.
All right, we'll do a quick review on this one because this isn't really moving. It looks like it's stuck in the sky in that position. I want to say it's something that is not a reflection, but I don't know why I get this reflection thought. There's something about it that makes me think this is a reflection. I'm not sure. It does look like, we'll look again. It looks like there's lights in the sky, but they're not moving. It never seems to settle, but there is a line that if you go left and right of the object, it looks like there is extra light where there shouldn't be. See it to the right? I didn't realize it until I put this together, but it's there, and I don't know. I really don't know what this is. I think it's a reflection. All right, here we go. Another cigar shape. Wow.
Cigar-shaped UFOs over the plains. This is a really good capture. The person that's actually filming it's doing a really good job. He's holding it steady under the circumstances. Unfortunately, it goes behind the building. We don't get much more of what was captured, but again, we see this cylindrical-like object just floating in the sky. And again, I don't see a gondola on this to represent maybe a blimp, a Goodyear blimp. This looks like something different. Could it be another new hybrid of balloons? That's a possibility, a weather apparatus that we're not familiar with. But then again, we are talking UFOs and I'm looking at something that's unidentified. So I'm liking this one a lot. This is cool because we're getting these on a constant rate, these cigar-shaped UFOs. If you missed last night's episode, you might want to check that out because there's a pretty good one that was on there, especially the one that we just played earlier. They're coming in masses, and sometimes they're unidentified and sometimes we call it for what it is. This one again is a very cool UFO.
All right, this one here, I am not sure, but this is a lot different than the one we just saw a few videos ago. This looks like it's you can see what looks like a design to the object. Like you can tell it's not a balloon. You get a little more, I guess, a sense of how big this object is. That you can see people are driving, but they're also recording it. And that thing is maybe a couple of miles out there. I don't know if that's a Fata Morgana, but it kind of reminds me of one. Is there an ocean out there? We just can't see it because it's hazy and, you know, the way the light's being refracted off the clouds, the haze, it's an object on the water, a boat, maybe some sort of, you know, craft that's out there. To me, it has that kind of quality, and I almost think I see something that looks like it would be the ocean, but I think that's in the air. If that's in the air, and I'm confident it is, I think it is. That's pretty big. This is actually pretty good. Whatever that is, these people know that it's in the sky. That's why they're showing us this. If it was on the water, I don't think they would. But we don't get a clear enough, view of it to know. That's a shame, because this could be one of those videos that, you'd say, wow, I definitely see a UFO for sure.
We've got a TR3B video that we're looking at right now. 3 stationary lights. We don't know what's going on right here, but we wanted to show it to you. These lights remain stationary for quite a distance of time, and we're looking at it. And we appreciate everybody joining us as we're watching this with everybody. Like I said, we got a lot of UFO videos tonight, so let's just roll this one as we're looking at it once again. Are these military flares, or is this something that some people might claim is the TR3B captured in broad daylight? Brett, what's your thoughts here? Yeah, this is good footage, Blake. We're on a road trip as we speak, and we're collecting the emails from around the world, and this came in, and this was a good one. It captured our eye. Could this just be military flares like you just said, Blake, or is it something else? We get a good close-up of this, and you could kind of see kind of an outline around the object itself. It almost resembles the TR3B. Could this be a one piece, a one craft? That's the big question right here.
Again, I could lean towards this being military flares, but looking at this, I could see how somebody might lean towards this being maybe a TR-3B. Still, we don't know what it is. It's unidentified. It's a UFO, Blake. It's good stuff.
Yeah, like I said, Brent, the videos, they keep coming into third phase of moon, and we're in kind of freezing conditions right now, so we're a little short of breath. It's about 47 degrees at our location, and we're not used to it. We're, like I said, crossing across America. We're Hawaii boys, and this weather is kind of getting us a little bit, but we want to bring you the news, and we're looking at this. And guys, I want to get your opinions. What's going on in this video? These three lights, as we're watching it, we see them traveling down a freeway, and they're pointing their cameras out, watching these lights remain stationary for a while. You could hear a little communication, whatever's going on between the eyewitnesses. You can hear that they're baffled about what they're looking at. The question is, what are they looking at? That's what we want to find out. We're looking at it again, and we see a really good close-up of this craft. And like you said, Brent, you could almost see a triangular-shaped halo around it, almost shadow formed, almost maybe cloaking in its own way. Brent, your last thoughts on this before we get to the next video?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We got a bunch more coming up. This was just a good start. Again, is this what people might say is a TR-3B encounter? Well, I'm not going to rule it out. We just need more evidence. I'd like to see a better vantage point. If somebody else saw something like this along the highway, we'd sure like to see it. Good stuff. This is a good start. Let's get on with the next one, Blake.
That's right, Brent. Let's roll it. And guys, take a look at this. During a live broadcast, something was captured, and you could hear the reaction. Check this out.
Radar site. So, what was that? Whoa, did anybody else just see that? Did we just catch a shooting star? I think we did, or a meteor. We just caught something on our sky cam here. Whoa. We're gonna have to play that back once I'm done with this forecast here. Radar site. So, what was that?
This would be the classic situation for disclosure. When live television broadcast captures some kind of event, this is what it'd take to bring it to the world. But right now we're looking at something. You could hear it in the lady's voice, the news anchor, the meteorologist, whatever you call her. She was excited about what she noticed, and it's very genuine too. What was captured could be space debris, a meteorite, whatever it was. It was a quite large event, and we're just sharing it to you because we think it's kind of interesting, right, Brent? If you put this kind of situation, if it was an ET craft captured on live television, it'd be undeniable. And maybe this could be coming around the corner for all we know. But I kind of like these kind of events that are captured during live television. Brent?
Yeah, for sure. The hidden underbelly actually sent this to us. And what I like about him, too, as well, he kind of keeps an eye out for atmospheric anomalies, not just UFOs, but an event, something that happens in our sky. It doesn't always have to be UFO related, but he did mention, like Blake just said, like, could this be the event? Like, could we see it happen in real time on live TV? Could this be the big one? And I think they might be prepping us up for that. And we've been seeing a lot of this talk with CNN and Tucker Carlson kind of amping everything up at the moment. Is this what we're looking at? Is this kind of soft disclosure, seeing how the media and the reporters could react to a real event that could happen?
Yeah, her reaction is, again, very genuine, and that's what we like. And I ask you, what if there were a huge mothership behind this meteorologist? Would they have shown it? Would they have cut the feed? Or would they let it roll? These are questions that I want to find out. And there might be something that is coming around the corner from Intel that it may happen in not too short of time, but we'll see. We'll see what's going on. But wouldn't it be classic? And I'm asking you guys right now, who's joining us in this live premiere, whether
you think the major media would cut the feed, or would they let it roll if ET wanted to show themselves? I could already roll that poll, and I'm going to say they would cut the feed in a heartbeat, Blake. Well, yeah, I would hope that they wouldn't, but obviously I think you're right about that, Brent. Now, let's get to this. Pretty cool sighting. Again, the hidden underbelly gave us a heads up on this one, and this one's an interesting video. Take a look at this.
Lindsay, come here. Lindsay. Yeah, could you turn the focus thing? I'm just trying to keep my hands. Just kind of adjust to see it.
Come over right there.
That's good. Yeah.
Wow.
Looks like it's going down.
It looks like it is.
It's literally a UFO because it's unidentified. It's only by us.
Let's send the video into Glasgow Live.
Yeah. This will be the best thing they've had since that guy put a love letter in the path down there. Oh, I'm losing it.
So let's roll this once again and slow things down and get a closer look. Right now, we're kind of interested in this video because it's kind of breaking the news with what's been going on with the jetpack man. Right now, the FBI is stating that these jetpacks that have been seen over LAX that have been harassing our airliners for the past year have now been stated that they're simple balloons, possibly. The FBI's rolling out that there's a real jetpack man out there. We've seen the videos, and in my opinion, I think there's some technology in regards to a jetpack man. And from the statements from the FBI and some local agencies investigating this, they're dismissing this as a simple balloon that's in close proximity to the FAA jetliner pilots. This is kind of crazy. As we're looking at this, I like it. What it is, I'm not exactly sure, but could it be a form of technology, Brent? What's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's coming down to, are we going to see people flying around the skies on a daily basis with jetpacks, your personal carrier, that you could just transform a person and have them leap off the ground? I believe it's right around the corner. What we're seeing here today with the hidden underbelly submission is pretty unique. This is a good capture. You could hear the people, they're stunned. They don't know what it is. Could it be balloons? That's a possibility, but people are saying this looks humanoid, and I kind of agree with that. What we're looking at with the commercial airliners and the recent FBI drop, I could rule out what their recent submission and their photographs and even video they actually brought in doesn't really relate to what we saw 6 months ago. What we're seeing is something entirely different.
Yeah, I'm curious about this video. Again, it's captured in broad daylight, and that's what I like. And you can hear the eyewitnesses. They're genuine. There's no trickery going on here. Now, here's another one. It's kind of interesting. At first, Brent showed me this video. I'm like, what's going on here? But something happens at the very end that seems super crazy. That doesn't make any kind of sense. Watch the video. You'll see.
¿Eso es con avión o algo? No, nada.
All right, you see it, that thing, whatever it was, you guys might have thought it was the moon, the sun. Well, it blinked out of existence. It just disappeared. What could have done this? It was lighting up the sky for a long time and then simply vanished. That's what caught the person's eye, in my opinion, that was there, who captured this video, knew that something was up, something peculiar, something strange. Brent, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Blake, I remember pulling this up, and he was taking a look, and Blake says, what's this? Is it the moon or the sun? I'm like, wait, you're going to see this thing. It's going to blink out. And that's what it did. It's pretty amazing. We're looking at something that's so luminescent, that's lighting up the night sky, and it's pretty much illuminating the village underneath it as well. We're seeing it. It's just static there, and it just holds itself, and then all of a sudden it just blinks out. It sparks out of existence. This is a cool sighting, and it needs to be shared. We see this kind of anomaly in this atmospheric phenomenon or otherworldly craft creating this kind of situation pretty much on a daily to a weekly basis. It's constant. It's very unique, and I really like this capture.
Is there an invasion going on? What's descending from our skies? We have 4 bright luminescent orbs that light up the cloud layer above the town. And let me tell you, somebody got lucky. They captured something that we can't explain. And if you look closer to the far right, one of these bright luminescent orbs descend down and seems to release something that rapidly descends down to the surface. What's going on here? These other luminescent orbs seem to be hovering there, coming down in a slow progression, but this one on the right seems to have a mind of its own. Is there some kind of invasion going on? What's happening here? Is it a simple military exercise, flares, or is this some kind of drone display? I'm not exactly sure, but whatever these things are, if I were there in the night and I saw this, I would be pointing my camera exactly in this position like this person just did. We're grateful to the person who shot this. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's really cool when the public submits UFO videos like this, and we're getting a lot of these kind of luminescent orbs that are highlighting the atmosphere, the clouds around it, and they're quite large. We're looking at something I believe is not military in origin. We see flares being dropped, but these are more luminescent. They're huge, and they're not your typical military flares that kind of descend, that leave smoke trails. We're not seeing any of that. We're seeing them remain pretty static and slowly drop down, and it's creating this huge luminescent light that, again, I don't see representative in military flares. The one on the right, it's pretty interesting the way it descends and accelerates towards the surface of the town over there. We don't know what it is. It's a unique capture. I like the way we see the orb just remain there as it drops something else and it starts to illuminate itself. Very strange stuff, very cool capture. I love this stuff.
Yeah, actually looking at it again, Brett, this one on the right, it seems that whatever is descending down at a rapid rate of speeds, there's still a luminescent object at the very top that remains there and seems to like take off at an incredible rate of speed as well, out of sight. So is there some kind of drop-off situation going on here? This is pretty incredible, and we're happy to share this with you. So this is kind of interesting. Like I said, we're getting videos coming in at a rapid rate of speed. And here's another one coming out of Russia. Pretty much the same phenomenon, but on a much, much bigger scale. Watch this. So now we move over from South America, now over Russia, the same exact phenomenon. But this time we have more than 6 or so huge luminescent orbs coming down over the city. What's going on here? Again, is there an invasion going on or some kind of occupation? Because if I saw this over a major city, and I'm sure the people in Russia were thinking the same thing, that this seems something huge, something otherworldly, or something that we can't explain, but nonetheless, it's an event, what's going on here, and we're seeing the exact same kind of phenomenon across the world as we're seeing this in Russia. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, it's interesting. From all the way from South America now to Russia, note the color. They're different from the past video you just saw. These are orange lights. Now we're looking at something that almost has a bluish tint, and I'm not seeing any acceleration or a falling of these flares. If that's what it is, they remain static in the sky, and they're pinpointed all over the city skyline. Is this some sort of like message they're trying to put out? Some might say that this could just be maybe a spotlight illuminating the cloud itself, and that's a possibility. But to have these spotlights put in around the whole city to project this would create a pretty massive scale of technology to pull this off. Are we looking at something that's static in the sky, some sort of a craft, you might say, or is it being projected from the ground? That's the big question. I'm leaning towards that these are actually objects floating up there, and we don't know what it is. They're definitely unidentified flying objects.
Or one big object, right, Brent? Because we spoke to Michael Schratt just a few days ago in the Hollywood Hills, and he explained to us the platform, a basic craft that was over a mile in length, and it pretty much looked like a city in the sky. And if this is the case, if this is one mega craft hidden in the cloud layer, now we're talking. Because this is something that has been seen before in our history. So why not over Russia? Is Russia on the brink of disclosure here? What country will bring disclosure? That's a question to you all. Do you think it's going to be the United States? Would you think it might be China or Russia? Or let's just dare say maybe Thirdphaseofmoon will bring the disclosure. That being said, we've even got more UFO videos for you. So guys, take a close look at this, a broad daylight sighting. Watch. Is the humanoid back once again? Well, they've been breaking the news for the past 6 months. LAX airline pilots, you name it, they're being seen across the globe right now. And we've got one for you. We've seen it, and now we're trying to figure out what the heck this thing is. Is it the infamous humanoid? Is it remote controlled? Is it a drone? Is it Superman? I don't know. All I know is we have no idea what we're looking at. That's why we're sharing it with you. We want to find out. And I know everybody in this live premiere has a lot of questions. And of course, we want the answers. So hopefully we could find out here very soon what this is. But I'm loving this. It's a broad daylight sighting of something that appears to be intelligent in nature. The way it's streaming across the sky, it has a basic form, and its flight pattern seems that there's some kind of direction pattern that it wants to go on. It's not randomly blowing in the wind. It's not wobbling very much. This thing seems pretty stationary, rigid in its flight pattern. Brett, what's your thoughts on this?
Now, some people might say this could be maybe an advertising balloon that got untethered and just basically started wandering off, and somebody managed to capture this on film. We have seen similar kind of objects that look like this that are tethered, that are indeed advertisement balloons, but this one could be a rogue balloon. I'm still leaning towards something else. We don't know what it is. We really can't zoom up and get much detail on what this is.
we do see that it's quite large, just in the scale and representation to where it is. I'm leaning towards maybe 30 to 40 feet. So it's something massive up there, and we don't know what's keeping it up in the sky, and that's why we're posting it. It's still a cool sighting, and I really appreciate this submission to Third Phase. Yeah, whatever it is, we don't see any kind of gondola underneath it, so I'm going to roll out a hot air balloon. Again, Brent brings up the possibility of it being an advertising banner, and it could have been untethered, and it's just kind of rogue flying out there. This is a possibility, but right now we can't confirm one way or the other if that's the case, and that's why we're sharing it with you. At this moment, I'm leaning towards a vertical-looking kind of cylindrical craft. It almost has some pretty decent defined corners from the top to the bottom, and it seems rigid, not so much as if it would be a helium balloon, is what I'm trying to say. This has some kind of rectangular shape, and the geometric shape seems pretty pronounced here. So this is kind of unconventional. If it is a balloon, it's definitely not a drone or a helicopter or an airplane. It's something. Could there be occupants from within this craft if that's what it is? What's the meta propulsion that's keeping this in the sky? These are questions we need to find out, and I'm grateful for everybody right now in the super chat chiming in. Wow, you guys are very cool. This past couple weeks we've been again on the road, and we've been meeting up with the people in regards to the information and behind the scenes of disclosure, such as Michael Schratt. We had a really good conversation with him, and we've been closely speaking with Dr. Stephen Greer in regards to our new documentary coming out called Above Top Secret, the technology behind disclosure. And let me tell you, when we drop the trailer and release this film to the world, you're going to see Greer in a whole new light. We were invited to his ranch in Virginia, unprecedented access to the man himself. And let me say this, the light that you will see on Dr. Greer and his insight, you're going to look at him in a whole different way. Trust me, this isn't Dr. Greer like you've seen him over the past decade or so. He's been around for a long time, but he's had a lot to do behind this disclosure movement. Whether you like him or not, he's done something in this community. And let me tell you, after you listen to what he says in our new documentary coming up, Above Top Secret, the technology behind disclosure, you guys are going to be blown away. Is this some kind of atmospheric phenomenon going on? What is it? Is this a possible large craft hidden within the cloud layer itself? We're watching this very closely. In the beginning, I see that there seems to be, again, a large craft hidden within the clouds, but then a second craft reveals itself underneath the cloud layer. Is this one massive object or two, dare I say, motherships, cloaking in the clouds? I got Brent Cousins, my twin brother, with me, and I want to get his thoughts. Yeah, Blake, this is some crazy footage. I'm glad we got this submission in, and I'm pretty excited to share it. We're looking at something unbelievable, some sort of like object that we could almost see shapes, almost a rectangular shape or almost diamond. You could see swirls of a black shade, and the other object seems to be hiding in the clouds itself. It almost seems to morph. Some people might say this could be maybe some sort of Project Bluebeam or HARP in action. We're looking at something that's massive, hovering above the city of Rome, and we can't explain it. The people on the ground are definitely bewildered on what they're seeing, and I still can't even fathom what we're looking at. Is this something otherworldly?
Absolutely, Brent. You bring up the possibility of possible weather manipulation, HARP, or Project Bluebeam, a massive hologram projection. Is this what we're looking at? Despite the low quality, I'm still digging the content here, because if this is real and there's no CGI involved and this is a legitimate footage, and as far as we can tell, it seems that way, then we're dealing with something that's totally unexplainable. Now, let's get to this next video, just into third phase of moon. Buckle up, everybody. Take a look at this. All right, we're replaying the video once again, and I like these broad daylight sightings from within an airliner, and we're looking at this. Is this the Tic-tac? Indeed, it resembles the characteristics of what our pilots in the Navy have stated their close encounters with the unknown. But in my opinion, the Tic-tac is built within a private corporation. I could be wrong. They could be otherworldly. I have a feeling, and from sources that we have in this field, I think Lockheed Martin might be behind this. But whatever it is, it seems to move extremely fast in this capture here. Could it be an airplane off in a distance going in the opposite direction? It seems to be going basically twice as fast. One plane going in one direction at approximately 350 miles an hour, and another plane in the opposite direction doing the exact same speed. Then you have something that looks maybe extremely fast, 700 miles an hour. The illusion might be created here in this parallax in this shot. But if this indeed is the Tic-tac, then who's building it? Who's the occupants of this craft? What's the meta propulsion behind it? These are questions we need to find out. Brent, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Blake, digging this video. I'm glad this person managed to get the shot. He was kind of struggling in the beginning, but then he gets notice. He takes notice of the object. He zooms in, and we get a good look at it. I'm not seeing any wings here. We're seeing something that's traversing through the sky that resembles a Tic-tac, and I'm glad the person with inside the plane had the right mind to film this. He films it, and the quality is a little low, but we still managed to get some detail. And if you see wings, you tell me. I'm not seeing anything. This resembles a Tic-tac, and it's a damn good video. Yeah, either a Tic-tac or a cruise missile, whatever it is. I'm not seeing any FAA lights either, Brent. So again, this is remaining a mystery, and that's why we're sharing these videos with you. Now, let's get to the next submission right now. Take a look at this, guys. Once again, more proof and evidence of UFOs possibly harnessing the energy off active volcanoes. We're looking at this webcam from Colima, Mexico, and we're seeing something, again, very unusual. This object, luminescent in origin, very bright, comes into frame and then pretty much parks itself, makes some crazy maneuvers, and then takes off at high rates of speed here. If this is a drone, this is one heck of a drone. This more resembles to me some kind of unnatural physics behind it. Something maybe extraterrestrials may have harnessed, a new kind of propulsion. It kind of resembles the way Bob Lazar would state the wobble effect of the sports model. Is this what we're looking at? Some kind of extraterrestrial vehicle checking out the volcanic activity there in Mexico? Brent, what's your thoughts? Yeah, Blake, you see this thing, it kind of darts in, it almost looks like a rod, and then it parks itself right near the volcano and oscillates and kind of just moves around. We don't see no blinking lights as you would on a drone. This thing just seems to like pulsate this orb, and then at
a certain point, it just takes off at incredible speeds and almost resembles a rod at its departure. What is this? We see this kind of action around volcanoes around the world, and it seems to be very frequent. This phenomenon, and I believe non-natural, is something that we can't explain, a phenomenon, something maybe otherworldly, something captured at 20,000 feet that seems to be out of this world, or something in our assets. Watch this closely. All right, so as always, we're going to do some enhancement here and ask the big question. And as we're looking at this video right now, this is why we put them up there. I don't have an answer for you at this moment. What we put out on Third Phase of Moon is something that we're trying to figure out. And at this moment, I can't tell you exactly what this is. It seems like we have some kind of cylindrical object just hovering there. If you look at it closely, the side-by-side comparison, this thing remains stationary above the clouds. It's not moving. Brent, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, good work on tracking this thing, Blake. I saw you program this, and just to get the good close-up of what we're looking at, we're seeing amazing encounters from commercial airliners, the people that are flying them. I was looking for UFOs today while we're inter-island travel to see and take care of Dad. And I didn't see anything like this. If I did, I would film it. I can't tell you what it is, but it does resemble something not in our assets. I don't see any wings or anything of the sort. It almost looks like a darker form of a Tic-tac.
Again, the video doesn't last very long, but what we're seeing here is pretty remarkable. If you imagine whatever this thing is just remaining at this altitude, I'm going to have to rule out some kind of blimp. It's definitely not a drone. It could be some kind of secret military operation here, or some kind of craft, some form of meta propulsion that we're not aware of. Again, we're getting a good side-by-side comparison here. I'm not seeing any FAA lights or any wing or tail on this thing. What's it doing there? This is out of any kind of commercial vehicle that I'm aware of. Brent, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it almost looks like the gimbal, you could say. I wonder if the FAA pilots, the fighter pilots, would chase this thing and track it down. What would they see? Would they get details of what was going on? Now we're taking it in a whole different level. What's going on Mars has been the big question. We're heading there in the future, or have we been there before is a big question. Things are being revealed through people keeping a good eye on atmospheric phenomena that's happening. We're seeing objects captured on the Mars Perseverance rover. It's incredible. We got good detail. We're seeing objects that we can't explain. Yes, we do have a drone on Mars, but I could definitely rule out that this is this.
You know, I'm looking at it, Brent, and could it be a speck on the lens? You know, there's a lot of sandstorms over there on the red planet, but some of these, still photographs doesn't seem to be a speck on the lens. We got the rover capturing these anomalies that sometimes look like flying saucers, and then we have other things on the surface that emit these strange, bright, luminescent lights from the ground itself. Is this again some maybe lens flare going on, or are we looking at pareidolia, or is there some kind of activity on the red planet? This one kind of caught my eye when it first came out just earlier this week, of this weird bluish metallic looking craft, dare I say. It almost looks like the Will Smith crash when he knocked out the alien on Area 51 and says, "Welcome to Earth." It almost looks like it's crash landed. I'm not exactly sure, but I like some of the anomalies that come in from NASA themselves, and it's funny that sometimes they don't give us the answers, but these cameras are really capturing things that even NASA can't tell us, even to this day, what's going on here, nor do they even try. Does this look like a bird to you guys, or some kind of strange life form? Brent, what's your thoughts? Is this possibly a life form or a craft?
Yeah, the best part about it, you could see that this thing actually moved from left to right. So something's traversing the sky of Mars, and now we got this great close-up of what looks to be a gimbal like UFO, saucer shape, just hovering above the Martian surface there.
Yeah, actually captured in 2014. These gimbals have been around for a while. An amateur astronomer had his lens pointed at Saturn and captures something incredible traversing through the rings. Take a look at this video. So as we're looking at this and getting a closer look, we've done some enhancements as best as we could. Let me tell you, to capture Saturn in its glory the way this is, it's very well done by an amateur. But what's incredible is that there's this celestial object that's traversing around the rings of Saturn. This isn't no moon. If it's not a moon, then this, in my opinion, is undeniable proof of some kind of interstellar craft. Now, is NASA going to come forward and tell us what was captured? I'm hoping somebody's going to be posting this on the major media, because this is big. Whatever this object is massive. Brent, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, Blake, this one really blew me away. As soon as I saw this, we needed to share it with you guys. And what's your thoughts in the chat room tonight? I'm sure we're all questioning this. This amateur astronomer captured something undeniable. What is it is a big question. I'm going to say to all of you, how big do you think this craft is? It must be massive to compare it to the size of Saturn, and the rings itself is probably the size of Earth. I could imagine if this is a case, that Earth compared to Saturn would be about this scale. So we're looking at something massive in scope if this is indeed a starship. I would like to see Hubble zoom up on this and get a crystal clear photo of what we're looking at. Or maybe all astronomers, amateur astronomers right now, should be looking at Saturn and seeing if we see these kind of anomalies.
That's right, Brent. That's why we're putting out the word to all you amateur astronomers out there. Start pointing your lenses at Saturn right now, because this interstellar object, this UFO, this unidentified craft, harnessing possibly the energy from Saturn, it is a gas planet. But what's crazy about it is, like you said, Brent, whatever this object is, it's large, almost planet-sized. And if this is something that's intelligent in design, now we're dealing with something huge here. Like I said, this is big news. And even though the video is a little blurry, you got to appreciate the evidence that we're looking at right now. And we see no manipulation. This isn't CGI in our opinion. Whatever is captured here, it's there. So the implications behind this could change everything as we know it. Maybe whatever this craft is going to be coming around closer to us. Maybe it's just a wanderer in our solar system. And maybe this amateur astronomer just got lucky enough to capture this moment in time, and we're able to share it with you. And we want to thank Jaime Mosan for giving us a heads up on this. And we're happy to share it. And I'm happy that we're seeing this live premiere have a lot of chats in the room right now, and people are speculating. And that's about all we could do right now. We don't claim to be experts, but we do claim to be experts at getting the information out to you as fast as possible. So that being said, we got this incredible new UFO sighting just in. Guys, take a look at this. So we're going to take a closer look at this video of some kind of disc-shaped object lit up in the night sky, creating some kind of huge luminescence around the structure. I'm going to rule out drone right away, or helicopter. It's definitely not an airplane. It's just remaining stationary but it does seem to change form in ways, and then back to its saucer shape, and then a huge bright light, very luminescent. Again, what is the source of the light, and what's the source of the meta propulsion that's keeping it up in the air? Brent, what's your thoughts? Any speculation here?
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at cool videos tonight, guys. Thanks for joining us. We see the area, it's kind of fogged out, so the whole area is being illuminated with the light, whatever it is. Could it be maybe a tower off in the background creating this light show, if that's what we're looking at? I'm leaning towards something else. It looks strange. It has this spherical, bright luminescent object, and then it kind of splits apart, and you see kind of a pyramidal shape in front of this craft, and then something else in the back. It's quite unique. I can't quite make out what this is. It's unidentified, and that's why we're sharing it tonight.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring it up, Brent, that it could be maybe a structure in the background, and there's some lights on top of it, and maybe it's obscured by the fog, and that could be the case. And I'm hoping we could find out a little bit more on this and bring you the answers. But right now, we're not seeing any structure. And in my opinion, whatever this is, it's up there in the sky, and it's hovering there. And again, what's the meta propulsion behind it? We're not seeing any FAA lights, and we're not hearing anything either. We had to mute down the original audio file because there was some music in the background, that issue that comes up. So that's why we had to keep the audio low on this. But from what we could hear, there was no noise coming from this craft. It was stealth in the sky. You probably wouldn't even know it was there unless you looked up. And that's the case for a lot of people. A lot of people around here aren't looking up anymore. They're just looking at their phones. We're driving around in Los Angeles. Most people are driving not aware that there's somebody in front of them. They're on their phones. People are crossing the crosswalks, looking at their iPhones. And we see people getting injured. Be aware of your surroundings. Don't always look at your phones. Look around, and also look up and have that camera ready. And like I said, we've got a lot more UFO videos for you, so let's roll this one. Take a look at this, guys. I like this. We've got a person you can see looking up in the sky at this red luminescent object, just glowing red, and moving at really incredible speeds, erratic maneuvers. It's rotating, undulating. Again, this is kind of strange. It almost seems biological or organic, but I could be wrong. It could be a drone. But has anybody seen a drone like this? Obviously, the people on the ground are very curious about what this object is. Usually people look at drones and they're very mundane. We're used to these now. We're not excited about drones. But when you see something like this seems almost out of this world, and the maneuvers that it's performing here. Brian, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, we wouldn't share it unless we thought it was unique, and it is. We're seeing these strange undulating movements, and it's rotating. I don't see drones flipping like that. It almost looks like a Tic-tac doing kind of like cartwheels. It's pretty wild stuff. This thing's pretty bright up there, and you can see the people trying to chase this UFO down as it kind of flies behind the trees. It's illuminated, and why is it this color? There's no drone color lights with the red and blue blinking on and off. We're seeing something else here. The big question is, what is it? This is a good capture, and I'm glad we're sharing it.
Yeah, could it be a natural atmospheric phenomenon known as like a fireball? Because there are static charges, earthquakes, volcanoes, even the air itself will create a static charge, and you'll have the phenomenon known as a fireball. They've been known to bounce around and jump through people's homes. and it's unintentional. It's just natural. Could this be something that we're looking at, something natural? But again, it seems that they're looking at this, the people on the ground, and whatever this craft is up in the sky seems to be aware of the people on the ground, and it's kind of like playing peekaboo with these guys. It drops down at a very high rate of speed and then takes some erratic maneuvers. This thing seems to be pretty stealthy. So here we go again. A Ring camera captures something on camera. Could this be the infamous TR3B? Well, this is questions that we need answers to, and I want to thank Anthony Exemplar. He has a YouTube channel called the Unidentified 4, and he's allowed us permission to share this with you, and we're grateful for other YouTubers reaching out to Third Phase of Moon to get down to the bottom of this mystery. And also, this video came from Kevin Barrett, and we're appreciating Kevin for getting this footage out so people could see this. The TR3B is a mystery out there. We've been bringing this phenomenon to you for over a decade. We've had photographs, videos submitted to us from across the country. I believe the TR3B is built by us within the United States, possibly reverse engineered technology behind it, and I'm leaning towards that. Is this what we're seeing here, Brandon, this Ring footage here?
Yeah, it's damn cool footage, to say the least. I like Anthony for submitting this and getting the YouTubers to give Third Phase of Moon the premier prime UFOs, and we're glad to deliver it to you. Hard telling what this is. People might say it is the infamous TR3B. Definitely it has the shape. It has a triangular three-cornered lights, and it moves in a strange formation, and the way it's cornered down, it doesn't look like a plane, and it would just move too slowly for a plane to move that way. So we're looking at something else. Could they be helicopters in formation? That's a possibility, but we're not seeing no blinking lights. We're seeing the lights just remain static. So the big question is, what is it?
Yeah, good question. What is it, Brent? And I'm leaning towards a possible TR3B sighting here. They could be Chinese lanterns, but again, they stay in formation pretty well here. And the whole idea of the angle that it's traversing on rules out airplane. And again, no FAA lights, like you said. So this is interesting footage. And again, I want to thank Unidentified 4 for sharing this. Again, there's a lot of YouTube channels trying to get into this, and they're getting footage from their friends and people because they're asking, have you captured anything amazing out there? Get that video to us. And we have a lot of YouTubers submitting their videos that come to them because they want to share it on Third Phase of Moon. We're going to be sure to share their original link to Anthony Exemplar's YouTube channel. And we thank everybody for participating. This field is a collaboration. It should be for everybody, and there shouldn't be any walls or drama. We all want to get to the answer, whether we're alone in the universe. And I believe we're not alone. There's something going on right here on the planet, and we need to find out right away what this is. So that being said, we've got a photograph that has just been submitted to us on our email. It just came in a few moments ago, so let's pull it up, take a look at this. So we're looking at something, again, that looks like the TR3B. It's not video, but it's a spectacular photograph, and people are speculating that there was some kind of ship hovering over a city in the night sky, and a lot of people saw it. There's a lot of pictures, but this is the one that we're able to obtain. I think there's going to be more coming in. Obviously, this is quite large in the sky, and we're looking at it, and I'm asking everybody if they have any idea what this is. You let us know. But Brent heard about some things. Again, this is kind of liquid. It's breaking right now. We're getting this video up as fast as possible. So, Brent, what's the background on this?
Yeah, definitely. It's a cool picture. It's kind of breaking the net right now, and I wanted to share it with Blake. And there's a story behind it, and people out there, that's what they do. They see a story, and then they give us the truth on what's really going on behind the scenes. And guess what? There's a photo that came out that really shows what this is. It's actually a tower. This is definitely fluid right now. I don't know exactly which city this is in, but we're pulling up the photos and you could definitely see there's a match. And people are basically passing off this photo that looks pretty legit if you didn't know the story behind it. But we're here. We're going to show you the truth, and this is it. It's a tower in a city. I'm sure our third phasers are going to find out exactly where this is. But we're just breaking it down because it's just happened within about 10 minutes when we received these photos. Yeah, that's a good follow-up there, Brent, because we want to find out the answers to all the UFO videos that we receive. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we don't. And one of the ways we find out is when we post our videos as fast as possible. Usually, we could wake up the next morning and we'll find out exactly what's going on, and then we'll break it down. And I'm sure tomorrow we're going to find out the exact city, but Brent pretty much broke it down really well, that these lights match up perfectly with this tower at this basically arena that's built in the city. And somebody took advantage and put it out there and claimed it was a TR-3B, but now we found out it's not. Hey, sometimes we just got to tell you the hard truth, and sometimes we don't know what's going on. We just put out the videos, and we all got to figure it out ourselves. Like I said, we're not experts here. We're just wanting to find out what's going on, and we are receiving the information from the public, and that's where the real story begins. The recent reports of UFO sightings is on the rise in the state of Arizona. But what just happened October 10th, 2020, has the little town of Sholo shooken up.
Turn the music off! Oh, dude, my God.
Recent reportings identified by the major media have been reported.
Seeing a mysterious object over Arizona last month, we have learned. The exchange with air traffic control sounded like something out of the Twilight Zone.
We have special correspondent Doc Skinner on the ground to investigate the recent sighting in Sholo, Arizona.
Perky.
Was anybody above us that passed us like 30 seconds ago?
Number 71 Papa Golf negative.
Okay. A UFO.
Special correspondent Doc Skinner for Thirdphaseofmoon reaches out to the public in regards to the event that happened on October 10th. The police department and air traffic control have seen the video. They declined to go on camera, but they can't explain what they saw on the video. Before we get to the eyewitnesses of the event at the wedding, Doc Skinner and Richard Giordano want to get the opinions from the public of what they think of this video that was shot on October 10th, 2020.
Two airline pilots traveling over Arizona claim they passed a UFO during recent flights. A Learjet pilot and an American Airlines pilot both saw the object late last month and radioed the regional air traffic controller.
Doc Skinner reaches out to the townfolk of Sholo, Arizona to get their opinions of what just happened over their skies.
My name is Derek Simmons. I'm the program director here at White Mountain Radio.
Hi, I'm Mike Bosley, and I'm an owner of a small town coffee shop here in Sholo, Arizona.
My name's Evan Lair. I own the Lodge Sports Bar and Grill in Pine Top, Arizona.
Hey, I'm Joel.
I'm Rael.
We're the owners of Sweet Peas and Fusions Cafe.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this video that was taken on Saturday night at an after-wedding party with the groomsmen and the bridesmaids at one of the groomsmen's home near Sholo High School. It was 7:30 to 8 o'clock Saturday night, and this is what they captured. I would like to see what you think. You can hit play.
What the hell is that?
Oh, I see that. Yeah.
Turn the music off!
I just
Wow.
noticed it.
There is a lot of
Does anybody have a really good camera?
What do you think you just saw?
That is definitely not a star cluster. That is definitely not flight. Anything that's the way they were all hovered together, then you saw them separate.
And sparkle?
Uh-huh.
What are your impressions?
Confused, I guess, at first, because like I said, that's all new to me, so.
I feel like I'm watching Independence Day.
No.
Yes.
And it's not SpaceX, it's not the satellites.
We checked, it's not SpaceX with their Skylink. We checked with their tracking system. It only comes over us at 5 p.m. and 6 a.m. It wasn't military maneuvers. They weren't working that night, and the air traffic controller said that air traffic was clear.
Dang.
So what do you guys think?
They're coming. Hey,
Trump's gonna
everything
win.
else this year has been leading up to this.
Well, here's the crazy thing. The reason why we're doing this story is because the same night Trump was asked about UFOs. He goes, I'm going to start looking into that.
Nice.
Do you feel there's girth to it? Like it's a solid object, or is it multiple lights just all in perfect sequence?
I feel like there's probably some connection between the groups of lights, so I feel like there is.
I think it's
Structure.
Size, yeah, like a structure to it, yes.
Yeah.
I think it's possible. I think it's definitely not natural. I've definitely seen a lot on this mountain, especially when I was a kid. I've seen a lot of lights and stuff like that. So I really have no doubt that it's not something, some kind of technology that we launched up or anything like that. So it's very strange.
So what's your take on things now? I mean, as you've seen something like that flew over our home.
Well, I'm not a believer in life outside of Earth. But it definitely makes you think.
Yeah. Very cool.
So it is, but it's interesting. Maybe secret military movement.
Very possible. Very possible.
That, and then he panned over and you saw other stars, and you could see the difference between the lights and the real stars and the cluster of stars. That's pretty crazy, man.
Yeah. So that happened here in Sholo, like a little more than 48 hours ago.
They say the White Mountains is a hot spot.
Did you ever think something like this would happen over the skies of Sholo?
No. Never would have thought.
Wow. Well, I appreciate you guys taking the time to check it out and give me your thoughts on it.
Thank you for
Thank
sharing.
you, yeah,
it with
exactly,
us.
for showing.
Yeah, just keep
Appreciate
your eyes
that.
to the skies, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
right, you never know.
Thanks.
Exactly.
Here in Arizona, people describing everything from discs to triangles, lights, fireballs lasting anywhere from seconds to more than an hour. So this morning on Today in AZ, we were asking you guys if UFOs are worth investigating or UFO sightings. And the majority of you said yes all morning. What do you guys think?
5 days after the event, Doc Skinner meets up with Robert on the outskirts of Sholo, Arizona to meet and discuss the events as it happened.
Okay, what the hell is that? Turn the music off. Oh, dude, my God.
I've never seen this in my life.
That's crazy.
I just noticed it. Look at a whole flock. Does anybody have a really good camera?
I have that for you, baby.
Hey, my name's Robert. You know, I've owned this house for about 3 years or so. Kind of grew up here up in the mountains, and yeah, we were just hanging out. And Saturday, I think it was Saturday, and for a wedding, and we were all just hanging out, partying, having a good time. When all of a sudden we saw a cluster of lights, and that's when we all kind of turned the music down and pulled out our phones and watched this cluster of lights come from right over this house and pan over and go off into the distance. And I don't know, who knows, but it was pretty cool.
Okay, so what is it that you think it is that you saw?
It's a good question. You know, I don't really know. Yeah, so it was very structured. You know, it was very uniform. It looked like it was a pattern flight, and then it kind of went off in the distance, and we didn't see lights turn off or anything like that. We were all having a pretty good time. So who knows what it was, but it was definitely some sort of patterned flight that looked really cool.
Did they look like they were completely together, or did they seem like they were separate, blowing in the winds? Because we want to try to debunk or eliminate the possibility of glow balloons or anything like that.
I mean, it was definitely in a line. I mean, the two lines ran very close together, and they were very straight. And I mean, nothing drifted off into thin air or anything like that. But it was very coordinated. Yeah, we couldn't hear any noises, any sounds coming from them. You know, we couldn't tell how far away they were or anything like that, just kind of lights appearing.
So I've thought about this more and more, and I guess if somebody feels unsafe about something that they're seeing in the sky, that they should raise concerns about something to authorities, I think maybe you have a valid argument there. Like if you see something that's out of the ordinary,
or seems closer,
whatever. I mean, whatever it could be. Hey, that doesn't look right. I don't see anything wrong with reporting that to authorities and having them investigate that.
As the investigation continues, Richard Giordano heads to the other side of Arizona to meet up with the person who shared the original video to Doc Skinner.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you got this footage and if you saw it originally, and just give a little bit of a description of it if you could.
Okay, yeah, I happen to be up in Vernon, Arizona, which is just north of Show Low. It was just this past weekend with my family. And unbeknownst to me, my father-in-law was actually there for a wedding that weekend as well. And I personally didn't see anything, but the next day he emailed me a video. And he said, hey, check this out. And when I saw it, it gave me shivers. I immediately was, and my wife and I were like, this is amazing footage.
Okay, what the hell is that? Turn the music off. Oh, dude, my God.
I've never seen this in my life.
That's crazy.
I just noticed it. Look at a whole flock. Does anybody have a really good camera? I have that for you, baby.
How is it that they're not doing anything with this footage? And I immediately went to the website or to the internet and started looking for Show Low and lights and just seeing if anyone was posting anything about it. And I text Doc Skinner, who I've now had a chance to talk with, and I just said, hey, has anything happened in Show Low? Have you seen anything? You're hearing anything? And he texted me back, and I said, well, I've got video that I really think you should look at because I can't find anything out there, and I want to know if it's real. I want to debunk it if I can.
When you saw it, have you ever seen anything like this up there?
Never seen anything like this. We were actually stargazing the night previously, and the nice thing about what was happening is there was no moon. The stars were really bright that night, and even the night before. And when I saw the way that the video was, the way the lights were, it is nothing I'd ever seen. I mean, you literally can see the lights moving in unison together in a cluster of lights. It did not look like drones. I've been to Disneyland, I've seen their amazing drone show. This was nothing like that. The video itself, it looked like there was substance there. I couldn't tell if it looked like maybe it was a big ship, honestly. I have no other way of explaining it or describing it.
But your father-in-law is the one who took the video, or how did...
Actually, he was there for his wife's brother's wedding.
Yeah.
And the groom is who took the video.
Okay.
And credible guy. I would tell you that he probably doesn't believe in stuff, but when you listen to him, he's in shock.
Turn the music off. Oh, dude, my God.
I've never seen this in my life.
That's crazy.
And the whole wedding party is in shock, and they stopped the music just to videotape and watch this phenomenon happen.
That says a lot, that a whole group of people stopped doing what they were doing to watch what was in the sky. It's truly amazing.
Yeah.
What do you believe? Do you believe we're being visited, or they've always been here? Where do you fall in?
You know, the jury's still out for me, but I do believe that this is an unidentified flying object of extraterrestrial source.
There's about 4 minutes of this, a V-shaped object in the sky above North Phoenix near Cave Creek.
Now Richard Giordano heads out to another location to meet up with the bride and groom and get their testimony of what they experienced and the whole wedding party and other family members who witnessed this extraordinary event.
I don't know. I mean, we were just kind of walking out in the backyard, you know, after the wedding, and my buddy, my best man, had said, "Oh my God, what is that in the sky?"
Oh, dude, my God.
I've never seen this in my life.
That's crazy.
I just noticed it. Look at a whole flock. Does anybody have a really good camera?
I have that for you, baby. And then as they started moving closer, and there were so many of them, it's hard to really say what it was or what we thought it was or what I thought it was, because there were so many of them. So I can't really say what I saw, but it was pretty crazy, that's for sure.
So my youngest son, me and my husband, we were outside the house, and my younger son came running out, and he's like, "You just missed it. You won't even believe what we saw." And then he showed me a video, and I saw the video, and I thought it was just drones too, but everyone was like amazed by it.
Yeah, there was no sound, there was no vibrations. It was just a slow moving whitish blue light.
Man-made or military, that'd be my only other thought process on it, because it is unlike anything I've seen, even on video. It's unlike anything I've seen.
So you would cross out drones, Chinese lanterns, Starlink satellite?
Yeah, I think the background information that I've received is that there was no Starlink satellites being launched.
Oh, okay.
The military wasn't running anything. The Sholo airport wasn't reporting any flights. At this point, when you look at it, it's ruling out all those things. It's either unclassified military doing stuff that they're not sharing, or potentially extraterrestrial.
You know, a whole bunch of lights in the sky, and they were just slowly steadily going with each other in the sky. I mean, really slow, it was just crazy.
Well, I for one think that there's something unique going on, and that happened to be the same day the president wanted to talk about UFOs and news that he has. So maybe there's a connection, who knows?
There were, along with those reports, I think there were even some other online talking about visitations and being displays of UFOs out there. So it's very interesting.
Has there been a lot of sightings up there that you know of in that area? I know Travis Walton lives up there, doesn't he?
Well, sure. You have Travis Walton, the Snowflake.
Yeah.
What was the name of that movie?
Fire in the Sky.
Fire in the Sky. Sure. Yeah. I mean, there's obviously history. I've been going up. I'm born and raised Arizonan. Been going up to Sholo area all my life. Never seen anything like this in the sky.
And there were definitely UFOs, that's for sure. I had never seen anything like it. Not even on TV or anything. I have never seen anything. It was really bizarre. Like from a distance, you were skeptical, but as it got closer, you were like, oh my God, like what the hell is that? You know, and it was just weird. And the way it went, and then it went, you know, towards the other direction, all in the same kind of pattern. It was pretty bizarre. And that's why I kind of ruled out drones after a few minutes, just because the way it moved and how high it was in the sky.
It's amazing, and it could be historic. Who knows if they'll come back? But I want to thank you for sharing your experience with getting the information and bringing the video over and talking about it. Is there anything you want to add?
You know, just that, like myself, keep an open mind on what the potential is here, because I did not want this video just to be lost. I wanted it to get out there and others to share what they think it is. I think we need to find out what the heck is going on.
That's what Third Phase of Moon is all about. We're opening up the lines and the communications and the logistics to boots on the ground to really find out what's going on above our skies. The phenomenon is real. And I want to thank Doc Skinner and Richard Giordano for the on-location report brought to us right here at Third Phase of Moon, including all the eyewitnesses and the public reaction. In my opinion, it's really brave of you to show your face. The testimony, along with video, it doesn't get much better than this. Thanks to the state of Arizona and the people of Sholo who were there, who captured this incredible historic moment. We ask you, the public, if you want to help out Third Phase of Moon and get the word out, we're looking for on-the-ground investigative reports from around the world. Anybody can do this, and we are collaborating with just about anybody. If you could get us the on-the-ground report, we would appreciate it. This is just our first episode of what you're about to experience right here at Third Phase of Moon. More UFO sightings, more eyewitness testimony. The truth is here, people. Everybody hit that subscription button and notification bell to be notified for our next report. We've got a lot more UFO videos coming in. Blake Cousins, we'll see everybody again next time.